All right, we are back with episode 11 of the Automatic Podcast. Also, it magically happened to be November 11th as well, so 11, 11, 11. I'm joined with the real Shiesty today. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself, sir?
I'm doing well. Also, what shirt is it? A Mario shirt you're wearing?
It is.
I like that shirt. What is it? Like all the little stars and like little power pieces from the
Yeah,
box?
there's star, flower, turtle shell, coin, mushroom head. Yeah, bunch of little stuff that just collage.
Where do you find your shirts at? Because you have a bunch of cool shirts. Obviously, I know the Pokemon ones are from GoFest, which oddly enough or horribly enough they don't sell online. That you only have to be an event for that.
That's not
But
true. The last couple of years, you were able to buy them online because of COVID.
really,
Yeah, I've been buying them every year. So
well, I wish they would let me because I think I tried twice and they were like locked out because of whatever reason.
I think if you were playing the game frequently enough, you might have saw it in the game,
Hmm.
and you could have been redirected. But to answer your question, this shirt actually, I believe I actually got it at GameStop, if memory
You
serves me
did?
correctly. Yeah, yeah. Which I rarely, um, I don't know how many shirts I ever bought from GameStop. This might be the only one. I mean, if I'm being honest. Um, but um, but yeah, that's where I got it from.
GameStop does oddly enough sell some solid shirts. The only problem is, at least the two GameStops I go to, I'm not gonna say locations, but they only have small and medium. And I'm like, no, I can't fit in
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, I mean, the gamer age group obviously is kind of like there's no boundaries, but like the stores definitely still do cater to a smaller, you know, size or demographic, I should say. Um, so that's probably why,
They were
unfortunately.
also selling Halloween costumes too, uh,
Really? Now
at
that I didn't
GameStop.
see.
Yeah, they were
I
selling like, obviously video game characters and all that stuff and comic book characters, but they were all for little kids. I'm like, now little kids aren't the only ones that want to dress up.
well, because remember, adults they're gonna cosplay, not dress up for Halloween. So there's a difference. There's a standard of quality when you're talking about a Halloween costume that comes in a freaking Ziploc bag versus cosplaying.
Tomato, tomato. You could dress up any age, and if you want to say cosplay, you better be really good. If not, it's just dressing up.
Yeah, that's a difference, right? Because like just using the word cosplay is tied to like a standard. Like it has, like you just said, it has to be good. Now we could all argue that because like if you go to conventions, even the ones that I don't want to say don't put an effort. I think everybody puts an effort, but they don't look as great as other ones. You still applaud them because they're doing their thing and they're having a good
Yeah,
time. But
I have no. I'm not discouraging anyone from dressing up and enacting a character. I'm not.
no, no,
But I'm just
I'm
saying, cosplay is professional. If you have Party City level quality, you're dressing up.
I'm with you. I'm just just drawing it out for everybody and just trying to paint the difference is all I'm trying to do.
Because I don't want to sound like I'm insulting anybody. Because cosplayers are professional. They spend so much time on their costume. They literally make it themselves. While
I
dressing up,
mean,
you just buy a wig, shirt, and whatever.
now I'm gonna go and say I might offend people. I wouldn't necessarily associate cosplay with professional all the time either. Like, are there professional cosplayers? Yes. The answer is yes. I mean, some of them have modeling contracts and that's all they do all year around. However, there are cosplayers that are not professionals.
True.
That's all I'm saying. And I'm gonna steal what you just said. Not here to offend anybody, but let's be real. Uh-oh. You look a little detoured here. What's going on over there?
Damn. While I helped you out, let's see. Hold on. Does
Uh-oh.
this work?
Uh-oh.
Hold
What's going
on.
on?
I need to make sure my audio is good because when I was helping you out, I was changing things as well.
Uh-oh.
And here, talk.
Okay, I'm talking. Uh-oh. Did it get messed
Uh,
up?
yeah, it did.
Oh
Uh,
no.
Here,
Uh
I'll just go off of your stream and rip it.
okay.
So what kind of games are you playing while I also fix this?
Well, I finally got my Sonic Frontiers in the mail, but I haven't yet started it. Um, so maybe I'll do that today. Pokemon comes out next week, so the whole world's looking forward to that one. And just still wowing it up, man. Just trying to get back in swing of things right before the expansion.
That's why it wasn't working. We're good. We're good.
We're good. We're back in business. All right. So, long story short, peel back the curtain for those I know. Right before we started the podcast, I was having some pretty bad audio issues due to a new Windows update. At least that's what I'm blaming it on. And Josh obviously was helping me trying to fix that, and we thought we had it fixed. I think we did have it fixed, but something just immediately went wrong. So
it's funny. Nothing went wrong. When I was helping you, I actually was changing my settings at the same time to figure out if there's like an alternate solution, and I forgot to put them back. Luckily, I just fixed it. We're good now. It was just a simple clicks, and we're gone. We're good. But I totally forgot to look at the meter before we even started.
Gotcha. So yeah, that's currently what I'm playing. Not much has really changed in a week, but yeah, I can't wait to dive into Sonic Frontiers a little bit. I kind of have, dare I say, high expectations for it that are completely blind, but they're not so high that I'm like putting on a pedestal to set myself up for disappointment. I'm just looking forward to playing another Sonic game, which I haven't done in a very long time.
So, what platform did you get Sonic on? Was it PlayStation 5 or was it Nintendo Switch?
Correct, PlayStation 5.
Okay. What made you choose PlayStation 5?
Because I am an achievement whore. I have said this. As much as I like Switch, it has nothing to do with graphics. Let me throw that out there. It has nothing to do with graphics. I would actually enjoy the luxury of having it on Switch and pulling it off a dock and going wherever the fuck I want and continue playing it. However, I am also an achievement whore. Not much like you. You are way beyond and far beyond me, but if I could play a game on multi-platform, I'm going to get it on the PlayStation.
Okay. So, do you plan on playing this off stream like you've done with the other games? Or do you actually plan on streaming this one?
I don't. However, and I'm sure you could answer this question for me because I'm so stupid. But with the PS5, even if I don't show my wonderful face here, I can still stream through the PlayStation console, right? Directly to Twitch. Isn't that an option nowadays?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I might set that up. Who knows?
I don't know why you would, because you have an Elgato.
But I want to play it on my, I'm not trying to flex here, my 75-inch screen TV, okay? Like, come on now.
Your Elgato is transportable. You have a laptop. Just download Streamlabs on your laptop, hook up Elgato to your laptop, and stream from there.
You make this sound complicated.
All right. Well, whatever you do, if you stream it, I'll watch. I'm actually looking forward to it because I've actually seen some gameplay. It shockingly... So I know this is going to sound weird, but it reminds me a lot of the old GameCube Sonics. And
okay.
Which
I loved.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It reminds me of the old GameCube Sonics, like the 3D ones, like Sonic Heroes, Sonic. What's the other one? I almost wanted to say Frontiers, but it's another game. Not Forces.
No, what's it called? Maybe,
Adventures. Sonic Adventures. That's what it's called.
Adventures. Yeah, duh. Yeah, Sonic Adventures.
It looks so much like that, and I'm so happy that they kept it to that kind of gameplay, and that makes me almost want to buy it immediately, even though I really should just wait for it when it's on sale.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks good. It looks good so far.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched any gameplay footage since its release, but very limited trailers and whatnot before its release is kind of what made me determine to purchase it. So it didn't really take a lot. I was just really visually stunned by what I saw, and I was like, oh man, I gotta get this.
Speaking of what I just noticed, for those of you only listening through audio, I just looked at the Real Shiesty's background, and apparently Dragonflight came in for him early. I didn't even realize it. You didn't even say anything about that. I'm surprised you didn't flex that off real quick.
I mean, it's not like I'm the only one that got it. It's a lot of people got it early. So, but yes, I actually opened it on my stream yesterday. So,
that's pretty cool.
Very happy.
Well, how would you say the quality is compared to the other ones that you have? Because you have the whole collection.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. It kind of like sticks out like a sore thumb. If I'm being honest, it feels like it doesn't fit.
But it looks good though.
It does. It's a very beautiful looking box, and I still haven't sat down to enjoy the art book yet because I normally do. I'm a nerd like that. I'll sit there and like jizz on every page. But but yeah, it comes with like 5 pins, one to for every aspect, and they're made really well, and they're pretty heavy too. So yeah, it's a cool it was a cool box. I might actually clip it from my Twitch from yesterday.
So did
Although
Sonic Frontiers and Dragonflight come in at the same time, or was it different times?
no, Frontiers came out the 8th, so Frontiers has been out for a few days.
No, but
And
it got delayed. I'm talking about like when did it get shipped to your house? Was it all at the same time?
oh yeah, sorry. Yes.
So that was like a really
No.
good day for you coming home and be like, oh, two games.
Well, the Dragonflight got shipped to my buddy's house that I was staying at before I landed his apartment, so he had it for a couple days. But yeah, I pretty much got them both on the same day. So yeah.
So that's why it's missing the game code.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but that's really cool. So besides Sonic Frontiers and all that stuff, what's up?
And let me just add one more thing. I told you it would fit.
It did fit. It didn't look like it, but it did fit.
Yeah, perfect.
For those that didn't, weren't here for last week's after the podcast, we were chatting and I was making the conversation that the box would be a little short or a little too big and it wouldn't fit, but turns out it's perfect.
Like a glove.
But besides Sonic Frontiers, has there been anything else you've been playing? I know World of Warcraft you still stream.
Exactly. That's my bread and butter. So.
Did the pre-patch come out already for that?
Well, it depends on how you define pre-patch. So, like the pre-patch that kind of like restructures the entire expansion is out. So, like the talent trees and all that good stuff. The pre-patch portion in which you're going to actually be able to create and play an evoker is going to be this Tuesday, along with the first Twitch drops, which I am hoping I am able to allow viewers to obtain by watching my stream. There's like no email or anything that says yes, you're eligible. They just kind of like vaguely said, hey, connect your account and enable Twitch drops and you should be able to do it. So
I think it'll probably be like every other thing. Like Destiny does the same thing too. It's just link the account, that's it, and people just watch and accumulate over time.
Exactly. So yeah, it would just be nice if unless there is something via Twitch that kind of lets even the streamer know. That's like, hey, by people viewing your stream, you are allowing them to get drops. I don't know because I've never done this before. So I'm hoping that's the case.
Usually they have one or two things. Usually it's like an extension that pops up on the screen for the viewer that shows up. Like if you're watching this, it like says so and so 30 minutes and a drop happens. Mm-hmm. Or if you're on PC, I think it's just like in the chat says boom drop and it goes into like your inventory box.
Gotcha. Yeah, so it's a little foreign to me, but since I do have everything linked, I'm assuming people who watch me will be able to get these drops. So we'll see.
That's pretty cool. So,
yeah, it's first time that I think WoW's doing it, so kind of a big deal, I guess.
I'm actually surprised they haven't done more of that sooner because like recently they've had a few drops. I thought they were completely new, but you said they're old cosmetic. They had like the fire helm, the ice helm, and another helm I totally forgot about. But
that was a different marketing campaign. That wasn't through. Maybe I'm wrong here. I don't think that was through Twitch drops. I thought that was through Amazon Prime.
Well, it's through Twitch, but it's not through Twitch. Like it is from Twitch, but you're right. It was one from Twitch drops.
Gotcha.
That makes sense. They're both from Twitch, but one's different. Obviously, one watches.
No. This one is. I think this is the first time where it's kind of more in the, dare I say, power to the player or power to the streamer aspect, where hopefully it's never going to work this way, but you would like to think some lower volume streamers might be able to capitalize a little bit more from this than whatever.
As much as that would be nice, usually it doesn't work out that way because Destiny does that too.
Yeah.
But either way, hopefully this increases the viewer base for World of Warcraft because even though World of Warcraft has always been a high directory on Twitch, it's definitely dropped over like the last 5-6 years. Because before you see average like 70,000 to 80,000, now it's like 20,000. So hopefully this helps it bring it back up again and keep thriving.
I think it will. I also think though it probably will be short term unless the expansion really is a success. But only time will tell with that. The other change they recently made, and I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, but they now have the retail and the classic games separated on Twitch. So when you actually let the world know what you're actually playing, you can now toggle between the two, which wasn't the case like a week ago. So
I'm so glad they did that because even though it is World of Warcraft, it's not the same World of Warcraft. So
no, 100%.
I think the real question is because there is 3 classics now. I wonder if they're gonna have 3 separate categories for classic, or if it's just classic and that's it.
No, it is just classic. So there isn't one for each, like vanilla, BC, and Wrath. So it is just one. So
I think
that is blanketed.
Yeah, I think I'm more for that because if they split up in 3 separate categories for that, it would split the viewer base way too much.
Yeah, yeah. I think exactly. I don't think they want that either. So
That's pretty cool.
I don't even know how many people are actually still streaming though, like BC and vanilla though. I don't know how that works. I'm not following it like that. So
there's still people. I mean, obviously, the newer classics always gonna have more viewers, but there's still like a healthy amount of people still doing like Ragnaros or was it Black Temple with
Illidan.
Yeah, Illidan, because for some reason people love doing those raids. Even like in retail, people still nerf themselves so they could do those raids at current content, which is weird to me. But everybody has their thing that they like in World of Warcraft, which is cool that they could do that.
Exactly. Everyone finds new ways to kind of challenge themselves. So
yeah, but one thing that I've been playing, because I haven't really been playing a lot of games except for Pokemon Shield.
Yes, sir.
I'm getting myself hyped up for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet coming out in just a week's time. It literally comes out next Friday, which I'm excited for. Are you getting it? I know you pre-ordered it, but are you getting it on Friday?
So here's my dilemma. As much as I like and I order through Pokemon Center, their customer service is also kind of poor. So my reservation or pre-order is still going to be sent at my old condo.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I think I might just bite the bullet here and just pre-order it again to get it sent here. And then if the other one gets routed to me, I'll figure it out. Maybe I'll gift it to somebody. I don't know.
I'll be the gift. No, I'm just joking. No.
You've already gifted too many things from me, Josh.
I know. I'm playing. But that's hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully you do get it, or hopefully you can go to your old place and pick it up.
I thought about that, but it also makes me feel weird. Like just to like drive over there, show up, and like go to the mailbox area and pick up my thing and then run out.
No, it wouldn't be weird because it would have your name on it regardless.
No, I know it would. It's just I don't know. It's just I don't know. I think it'd be a little weird.
No, just go there, leave in your old PO box, how you doing? Are you enjoying the place, and then leave.
Shit, fuck that. I care less about that.
But I've actually been really enjoying Pokemon Shield. Like I haven't played Pokemon Sword and Shield in like maybe 2 years since like it first came out in like 2018, 19. And I forgot how easy Pokemon actually is nowadays. Because I was trying to make it challenging by purposely not trying to use my starter Pokemon, which I chose Grookey. Which I guess makes sense for me because I looked at Sobble, and Sobble's evolutions really, really suck.
Oh, you already spoiled yourself?
No, not for Scarlet and Violet, but I'm talking about like for Shield. Like you have Scorbunny, Sobble, and then Grookey.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm thinking Sobble and then the duck. Like I'm just so crazy.
Is it mirrored to like the starter evolutions for Pokemon like go downhill since X and Y?
No, I don't think so.
Because like the only one that's cool, in my opinion, the only one that's cool looking is Scorbunny. Even though it's just Scorbunny keeps evolving into whatever his name is, Cinderace. No, Cinderace is not it. Is it Cinderace?
Cinderace. Yeah, because he has the soccer ball.
Yeah, it's like all he did was go from little kid, teenager to adult.
So, on that note, I think that's the only thing I dislike about the 3 is how they kind of gave them all props, so to speak. I know historically some Pokemon have, like Farfetch, for example, but all 3 of them have it. And maybe that was a theme, I don't know, but that was the only thing I didn't really care about. But ultimately, they're not bad. I don't think. And the new ones, like I haven't spoiled myself too much. I'm trying not to. It's kind of hard not to with social media, but um, I mean, so far what I've seen, I like, but I haven't seen like great pictures. Like it's almost like watching scrambled porn is the way I've been getting it because it's like I'm seeing these like these images that probably should they look like they belonged in a like a 1990 Nintendo Power magazine. It's like okay, I think I got a silhouette of what it's supposed to look like, but I'm like really trying not to spoil myself.
So obviously this is all opinionated because everybody has different. Like I'm not saying Pokemon models in the newer games suck. I'm just saying the starter Pokemon. Because like how do you like in my opinion like you have Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charmander, their evolutions got cooler and cooler as they evolved. Same thing with Totodile, Chikorita to Bayleaf, maybe you could say that's kind of lame, but like Cyndaquil to Typhlosion looked cool, and then Torchic to Blaziken and all that stuff. They all had cool evolutions. I feel like with Sword and Shield, they didn't have like amazing evolutions. It just looked like they went from kid, teenager to adult. Like Sobble looks like a kid, Grookey looks like a kid, Scorpion
I
looks like a
mean,
kid.
you could argue with that with all the other ones you just mentioned. Like,
No,
I
no,
mean,
no, but what I'm saying is that they take human aspects of it. Like when these guys
attributes, yeah.
like when these guys evolve, like when Sobble evolves his second evolution, Drizzle, whatever his name is, he looks like a depressed kid. He looks like a in my way an emo teenager.
Uh, I mean, I guess that's your perception. I mean,
Like his hair is forward, he
I've
looks
never.
down.
No, I'm following you. It just doesn't bother me. I guess like it's all been fine to me. You know what? Maybe it's because I'm a fanboy too. I don't know. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some Pokemon over time that I'm like, oh my god, these look horrible. Um, and then going back to without doing spoilers for this gen, I've been enjoying all of them. Like, I don't think there's one really that I looked at. I'm like, okay, now that one's dumb. Like, I've kind of liked all of the ones I've seen so far. Um, so, um, so yeah, like I'm pretty giddy right now, man. Like, just like I don't know.
I'm I wish I could like show pictures right now and like go through the Pokemon stars, and I just want you to look at the evolutions and say that with a confident face because some of them.
I would say that with a confident face. Like, and I would and like if we're gonna go down this visual uh presentation here, like I would tell you, like looking at all of them, okay, this one's definitely my least favorite. Charizard's obviously my most favorite, but like they're all good. Like I can't really think right now of one that's really like, okay, that arc was dumb or shouldn't have happened. Like they all to me have made sense.
I think you're going too far. I'm just talking about starter Pokemon, not the whole like actual Pokemon
I am
models.
talking
And
about starter Pokemon right now.
okay, because you're talking about
The starters and their evolutions.
okay. When you're saying arc, I thought you're talking about like their whatever expansion, like Shield being
Oh, when I say
killer.
arc, I mean like from the first to the second to the third. Like that's the arc.
So what's your favorite starter? I could tell you mine. Oddly enough, is last iteration, the Alola version. I really like Litten, Piplup. But is it Piplup? Whatever the water guy is that turns into like the seal, and whatever the grass guy was. Because Litten looked cool when he was evolving.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Litten was cool, especially his shiny form. Like, oh, I love his shiny
the
form.
white and red.
Yeah, just so good. Yeah, no, that's a good one for sure. I would probably highly rank that one. I mean,
Like I'm not
maybe
just saying
nostalgia,
individually. I'm saying like Alola in my well, obviously like it is
like
opinionated.
I'll put it all three.
Yeah, because Alola to me was my favorite. Kanto might be my second, and no, either Johto or Hoenn is my third.
I would have to line them up. I would have to line them up. I mean, I don't think Kanto might not actually be mine. If I'm just being honest, off a whim. I mean, Charizard still he's my homeboy, but like, um, as far as like collectively, if you want me to rate it based on all three, it probably the answer probably won't be Kanto, but I couldn't tell you what it'd be right now.
Yeah, it's funny when you try to like memorize
I
Pokemon.
would
It's like
have to look at them because you're talking about what 9 generations, right? So you got 9 different ones, and for whatever reason, for the life of me right now, I can't think of all of them.
Yeah.
But um, but yeah, I'm
Like,
just like, man, like not to get too far ahead and like I said, go down that rabbit hole, but like, I mean, this is 9, right? So next one's 10. I know we're probably 5 years away from this happening, but like, it makes me wonder what they're gonna do. I feel like they're really gonna go back to Kanto for 10 again. Like it'll be like future, like let's do this shit all over again type thing.
I think Legends of Arceus opened up doors for the whole Pokemon series because Arceus is the Sinnoh region, but from the past, and they call it the Hisui region, whatever.
Yeah, Hisui.
So it's like they could do that for any of them. They could do past, future, whatever.
It can, but what I was trying to like, I don't want to see that, to be honest, too much. Like that was fun, that was cool. I enjoyed the fuck out of that game, but I don't want that for all the different areas. But what I'm saying is like, kind of like how they did, Gold, Silver. They let you win back to Kanto, and then like Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee went back to Kanto. I just think like for the 10, I mean 10 is special, man. That's their 10th one, so like maybe I don't know. They just go back, but it's a different, not like really far in the past or really far in the future. But I'm just saying, like canonically, they could go back and be like, oh, there's all these other Pokemon here now. I don't fucking know. Like,
I like how you just like argued with yourself. You're like, I don't want to see it, but I want to see it.
no, but the way you painted it was like Legends of Arceus, where you go like, I don't know what the time span is, thousands of years.
Well, I'm
saying
saying they give options to do like a future, past, whatever. I'm not saying they
I
have to go thousands of millennia, ago. I'm saying that they could do
that's
any
what I'm saying.
era.
I don't want to see. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to see. Like I'm just saying, like canonly, they could go back and be like, oh, this takes place 30 years after the original game. I don't fuck, or 50. I don't know, but like something like that. But we'll see.
Where
Like I
Blue
said,
is
this is
officially Professor Oak. He's his own grandfather now.
yeah, exactly. Um, but um, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, we could get lost in that conversation all day, but
And we will circle back to it later on at different points.
yeah, of
But
course.
before moving on, I'm not sure. Well, I know this kind of stemmed from when we were talking with Alfredo from the Dukes Gaming podcast. No, sorry, not Alfredo. Well, him and Fredo and Nightwing and Fire when we're talking about Batman. And then also Nightwing talking about this too. I went back and started watching the animated series, right, on HBO Max. And as soon as I started watching the animated series on HBO Max, I found out that the voice actor passed away today, Kevin Conroy. And
Yep.
I don't want to say like I'm a long time fan because I just literally started watching the animated version. And hearing how good some of them were with him, it makes me sad that he passed away because I was looking forward to like maybe future projects with him. And so I just wanted to give a little, respect thing for Kevin Conroy for all the work he's done with the Batman series. And, hopefully, his stuff keeps getting passed down, from future generations. Like maybe, how do you want to say it? I don't want to say remastered, but like reanimate to like high def, but still use his own voice acting for like current generations to enjoy too.
Yeah, that'd be challenging. I never watched the cartoons or the animes like you're going back to do or when they were current. But I think any kid growing up in that era knows his voice. Like there's no end if buts in my opinion. Not to mention, I mean, I got to enjoy him. I think the most through the Arkham series games because he still voiced him through Arkham, which just was fantastic. I know a lot of people came out today and says, much like when Adam West passed away, like that's my Batman, that's my Batman, that's my Batman, and that's fine. Everybody has theirs, and I don't want to. I can't say that, but like he's definitely up there because like even though he never physically embodied him through acting, but the voice, I mean, the voice is huge.
We could say he's our animated
huge.
Batman.
Oh, 100%. I mean, but Mark Hamill does a fucking phenomenal job as well. Like,
But Mark Hamill doesn't play Batman; he plays the Joker.
oh, I'm sorry, you're right. My fault. You're right.
I was like, Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Mark Hamill did play with
I was
Batman, but
brain
I was
farting.
like, I
Sorry.
remember the
Yeah.
Joker.
Yeah. But so yeah, like um, it is sad. It's it's a legacy ending. So
Yeah, it's just weird because like I because of anime I've become more familiar with voice actors, same thing like video game voice actors, just because you hear a voice and then you automatically disassociate a face, but there's a person behind that voice, and then when you hear them again in other projects, it's like gives you like a sense of connection with those other projects as well, even though they're not related. But you know, talking like how you're saying earlier, with the Arkham games, I had no idea that Kevin Conroy voice acted anything besides the Arkham games. So going back to this animated series was like almost like that weird connection from the show to the games for me, and
nice.
it was like a
Hmm.
nice blend. But I know that
Yeah.
that's just me.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think that for people that haven't seen his work, they should check it out because, in my opinion, it's good, especially if you like superhero stuff and Batman.
And I feel like he was definitely young. I think it was what 66. If
Yeah,
uh,
that's relative young nowadays.
that's yeah, that's young nowadays. That just sucks. So.
But going on to, I guess, somewhat positive news, but also maybe not positive news. In the next few hours, potentially a day, we are gonna hit 8 billion people on this planet.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Dare I say this? I didn't care.
So I don't care. Well, I think it's interesting because one, that's a lot of people, 8 billion people.
That is a lot of
But when
people.
I was looking at, like, obviously there's gonna be like number errors. This is just a rough estimate of all the people born and dying.
Hmm.
I think there was like over 400 million people born this year already. That's a lot of people.
Hmm.
And when I looked at the people that died, there's even more people that died. So I'm like, how is it that the ratio of death is higher than the ratio of life, but still we're surpassing 8 billion?
Yeah, that's very interesting indeed.
Because like I think obviously, like I said, these numbers might not be accurate. There's just a rough estimate, but it was almost like a 2 to 1, like death being 2 times higher than life, and it
I
was
mean,
just weird.
I think that trend probably. I mean, I'm not. Nor am I going to go look. I'm just simply pulling this out of my ass. I feel like that trend probably is true even for the last couple of years because of the pandemic, right? So like, I mean, now we're kind of weeding our way out. I feel as a world,
So
but
I'll let you finish, but I actually want to say that the pandemic actually saved lives. And I know it's going to sound really weird because obviously, a lot of people were affected by COVID-19, which is, unfortunate. But because a lot of people were locked down, crime rate also stopped. Well, I'm not saying it stopped completely, but it got halted severely, which also prevented a lot of death by murder and accidents.
a lot of things. To your point, a lot. I'm gonna correct you. A lot of things paused. They didn't stop. Um, and a lot of things actually got worse due to people being locked up, like domestic violence, domestic abuse within the household. A lot of that went up.
But I'm
I
talking
mean,
about death related. I'm talking about death, not just acts of violence.
that could lead to though.
But
Um,
it go ahead, and then I'll counter.
yeah, it's just as like. Anyways, what I'm getting at is like I haven't looked at the numbers, nor will I, and I don't know if you have them handily really available, but that's just what I'm going to attribute it to. Now, historically, I think there was a lot more life than death, um, but I don't know. We'll see. I think that's gonna also. I mean, just here in the states, I feel like it's gonna go down because of a lot of. I mean, shit. I guess I'm in this group. A lot of you know people are not having kids, and there's actually, I think, at least from my vantage point, a lot of people that are just not going to have kids. That like they're married and they're agreeing they're not going to have kids.
Or they're unable to.
Um, there's that too. The ones that I've talked to, I don't know if that is their issue, but that's their personal issues. But I just think that there's also just people just don't want to. I was, dating this chick. Short story. She just flat out told me she doesn't want to have kids because she would have dreams where she was going to die if she gave birth. And I just sat there and I'm like, that fucking sucks. Like, I don't know how to tell you otherwise. If you have those reoccurring dreams, like, that fucking sucks. Um, so, just crazy. It's weird.
Yeah. All I know is that Nick Cannon it will cover most
Oh,
people.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. God damn it.
But yeah, no, that's true. There's a lot of people not having kids nowadays, especially with our generation, which, hopefully, willingly, I have kids of my own because I actually do want kids. Because I know it's gonna sound really weird, but I do believe in humans being basically USBs passing data to the next one, and I want my data to continue.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
So, but two, as much as we do have a huge overpopulation issue, 8 billion people, if you think about two generations not having a lot of kids, that can basically be cut in half. That 8 billion in like maybe 60 years time could be cut down to 4 billion just because two generations decide to not really have kids. It's crazy to think about how overpopulation can almost be corrected in such a short amount of time.
Um, well, besides that, you also got to look at all these different countries in the world that the population is either increasing or decreasing. Like I said, I feel like in the U.S. it's probably in some capacity, in some facet, decreasing. But there's other third world countries where women still get raped and all this stuff, and can't get an abortion, and that's why their population is increasing. So, like those are things you got to take a look at. I mean,
Yeah, it's weird looking like I know this is really going off the wagon here, but like geography wise, like I was looking at India, how they're the most overpopulated country on the planet, and then places like China where they were really overpopulated, but because they decided to cut down, if you know their like birthing rules, it's usually two kids, and they usually favor males over females, which is unfortunate. But because of that issue, and they did favor certain people more. Now they have an abundance of one gender more than another, and now they're trying to recuperate again because of that flaw they had before.
hmm and I believe Russia had that issue too, where there was more women.
Yep.
I don't know if that's still an issue,
There's
but
actually 4 countries that have more women to men, and they actually are seeking people and paying some men to go over there to find wives, which I thought was really weird and kind of funny at the same
well,
time.
I mean, you hear these, I'm sure a lot of people have heard the term, mail order bride or mail order wife. It's legit.
It's
Like,
it's still a thing.
it's still a thing. Like, but people think there's like this whole negative, tone with that, and I mean, depending on how you look at it, can be, um, but
Some
no,
people are happy.
there's actually women out there that use the service for their good. Not like, I think people think of it me like men trying to do bad things. When, once again, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I damn well know it does. I'm not fucking that stupid. But there are also women in the world that want to do better for themselves and go out and use said services. So yeah.
It's so weird. Like, obviously, you and I are in the U.S. and we're so
hmm
accustomed to U.S.
hmm
policies and all that stuff,
Ideologies and stuff. Yeah.
ideologies. But when you look at India and like their age and their marriage and all that stuff, like sometimes they even have like parents have kids, and then they kind of already rearrange that their kids are going to get married. Like even when
Yep.
they're born, they
Arranged
already
marriages.
know.
Yep.
It's like so weird to me, and some of them somehow work out really well. Obviously, there's instances where they don't, but for
hmm
some reason, most of them are almost happy that they don't have to look for someone; they're already given someone.
I mean, but once again, this is another rabbit hole we could go down and really, do surgery on. But like, are they really happy, or are they just? Is it a huge facade? You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I'm
Like,
saying is that there's people that are unhappy because you can look at. I don't want to say too much because I know might offend some people, but like there's some men that want to get out and marry somebody else, or some women that want to marry somebody else, and it didn't work out. But most time, from what I've seen and heard, most times it works because they don't have to worry about the stress of finding somebody. They just automatically are born with them. They're so used to them. It's just natural for them, and that's what makes them happy. Because some people are not like us; they're more simple, and that's
Mm-hmm.
probably a better thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I couldn't. I mean, but this is once again different parts of the world, right? Different upbringing and lifestyles, everything. I couldn't fathom that to be, knowing that at a young age, like, nope, that's the chick you're gonna be with, and end of story. Like, what? Like, but if that's what tradition is, and that's all how it functioned through centuries of time or what have you, you know, and it's the norm or considered the norm, then it's like, who am I? If I was probably in that culture, then I'd probably think it's okay, right? So it's just crazy.
But yeah, I think the only reason I brought it up is because like, I'm so fascinated with the world, and even though I do have my dislikes of people from time to time, the fact that we've reached 8 billion people or close to 8 billion people soon is in a weird way kind of cool. That even though we have so many people, there's still so much room on this planet. Oddly enough.
Yeah, yeah, it is fascinating.
But I guess we can move on to our first topic, which I guess kind of relates to some what we are talking about. This is something I've been feeling recently, and it kind of caught me off guard. And I think the reason why I want to talk about this is because I'm not a person that feels or thinks I'm depressed. Apparently, depression can actually hit you, and you not even realize it. Because
100%.
obviously I understand that there's like seasonal depression where time changes, your body needs to get accustomed to things, and it's just so out of whack. Um, but most times when people think of depression, it's more of a mental thing. Like you're just sad, down, whatever. But it can also be related to physical stuff, like not eating right, not enough sun, not enough vitamins, or whatever, or like just bad sleeping patterns that will cause you to be unhappy, lack of energy, unmotivated. And I didn't realize that I was in that rut until recently, until I was talking to somebody and they're like, "I think you have depression." And I'm like, "No, that's not true. I'm
Oh,
usually,"
not me.
and I'm like, "No, I'm usually positive. I try to always think positive." But they're like, "No, you can always try to be positive but still be depressed."
Oh, 100%. I mean, look at someone like Robin Williams or a lot of other um, people that have committed suicide that had this, portrayal that they're happy, uh, and behind the scenes they're just miserable. Um, so no, that's all true. I mean, and I can't remember if I said this on our podcast at all, but I'm pretty sure I've shared with you. But like I never been treated, um, but I was very close. I actually I identified myself, or at least felt like I identified myself that I was depressed. But my depression, kind of little things to what you were talking about, was like probably not sleeping well or eating well and all that stuff, because they all do contribute and attribute to it. But mine was from work. I mean, it was just pure what I was going on through with work. Um, so, like, long story short, I would come home, um, go to sleep, wake up, go back to work, rinse and repeat. And I wouldn't even play games. I wouldn't. I was streaming during the time, but didn't even do that. And I was in a rut, like 2 week fucking rut, like really bad. And then finally, I don't know what turned or what. Probably talked to certain people. I can't definitively recall, if I'm being honest, um, but yeah, I just turned, and then in hindsight, even that not at that moment, it took me months to kind of realize, like, yeah, I was fucking in depression. Um, and then even then, I would not really have thoughts, but I was like, let me still, because my cousin was one of the people that told me. She's like, go talk to a therapist. And there's that stigma, still gets talked about all the time. Man up, right? But man up and go see a therapist. So I
So,
did finally say, you know what, I'm going to, because I never had suicidal thoughts, but I had career suicide thoughts, and one thing could lead to another, and I realized that. But so that's why I went to go try to seek help. And then when I finally picked up a phone to try to make an appointment with a therapist, she tells me she's booked for the next 3 months. So then I was deflated immediately again. And she's like, well, let me give you some colleagues' names and numbers. Call them, blah, blah. So I call them, same fucking thing. And she's like, if you really can't make anything with anybody, I could try to squeeze you in. I gave up. I never called her back, never got a point with anybody, but I just got better myself. And it takes I mean, not to say it to like stroke my own ego here, but like it takes a lot to take yourself out of that realm. Um, so so yeah, like it's the sneaky stalker as we have it on our topic text here. Yeah, you don't. At least I didn't really think I knew it when it was happening. I just took it that I had work fatigue, I was physically exhausted, mentally exhausted, and that was it. But it really was more than that.
No, I agree with you because like, so I'm going to start off with a couple things because when you've talked about work depression, I think I noticed that because you and I have had a couple conversations about your work and all that stuff. Obviously, I'm not going to go into details, but I think with depression, I think the key point is to talk about it. I'm not going to say talk to a therapist because I'm not saying therapists don't help because they can if you find a good one. But there's a lot of therapists that really don't try to help you. They just try to medicate you. And that's an issue.
So that can and cannot be true, right? So with that line of thought, that was never my fear with going to a therapist. I'll tell you my fear. My fear with going was I wanted approval and acknowledgement of what my thoughts were to get out of the bad work environment I was in.
When you're saying it was like an excuse to get out instead of a way to improve?
Yes. I can tell you that factually, that was my line of thought, is why I wanted to go. I wanted to pour out my heart and pretty much get approval from a doctor. I don't mean to really put that in quotes because they are doctors. But like, to be like, for her or him to tell me, you know what, you are right, you need to leave. And that was the tough struggle I had because like I built, dare I say it in this facet, but I built my empire. I knew doing that I would lose my empire, have to rebuild myself all up again. So it was tough. The medication part never was a concern to me. Reason being because even if they suggested so, I probably would have never taken it.
See,
I would have shut that shit down immediately. So that's why it was never a deterrence.
Well, I'm not saying for you, but I'm saying for general, a lot of people follow the doctor's rules, like the Bible, and they take the medicine. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying medicine doesn't work. It does, but not for all people. Because when I was younger, I seen actually a lot of therapists because I had a severe anxiety from school. And a lot of the times they put me on medication, but these medications made me feel like a robot. Like, I guess the best analogy is some of these medicines made me feel like I was on, like, if you ever watch the movie Click, and you know how Adam Sandler like would fast forward and he would go on autopilot and he wasn't really there. That's how I was. I was on autopilot. I wasn't there mentally. I was just a robot walking.
So it took away your personality.
Yeah. And it took me a while to wing myself off of that mess. And even though they kept on saying, stay on, it'll help you, I felt no happiness or joy. And I was, I feel like, medicine also shouldn't be pushed on kids because I was 7 all the way to 12 years old when they had me on this medicine. And I was awful. And I think the only way to really get past a lot of as much as it's going to really be hard to hear, depression and anxiety, the only person that can cure you is you, because no one knows you better than you. Obviously you can hear suggestions and helpful tips from other people, and like I said, I do think talking does help, but the only person that could really make a change is you, because you can say you want to change, but if you don't make the steps to change, you won't get better. Like when I caught myself in this depression, because I like you said, you were in like a 2-week depression or a couple multi-week depression. It took you time to get out. I think I noticed my depression kicked in when my friend Matt Badger, or as he was on our podcast, Caught Toothless, when he passed away. And obviously I was sad, but because of his life, I always try to carry the mentality of always just be positive, like appreciate what you had, carry his teachings forward, and I try not to stay down. But I think because of that, that's where the depression started, and then it just lingered. And then other things tacked onto it. And then when I noticed myself following a really bad pattern. And like I said, when I was talking to my friend, she told me, you know, obviously I haven't been diagnosed either. I don't know if I have depression. I'm just self-diagnosing here. But when she said it sounds like depression, and so when she said that, I immediately looked up what to counter it. And they have all these different side effects like food, sleep, bad habits, routine. You need. Hold on one second. Sorry, somebody knocked.
Those are a lot of F-bombs right there, Josh.
No, somebody knocked. But once I had seen all the things, I made sure I took the steps to counter it. Like, when I said I had depression and I figured that out, I drank a lot more water. I've been purposely standing in the sun, like basically sunbathing. That's helped me out. More movement, purposely turning things off at certain times to sleep, and now I feel better.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just weird that it took somebody else to tell me that I might have it for me to actually make a change.
Yeah. No, the one thing I'll definitely agree wholeheartedly, and I think any advertisements that you hear, whether it's through TV commercials, through athletes, all that shit is yes, talking does help. Talking does fucking help. It doesn't have to be a certified therapist. Like talking to your friends, talking to your family, talking to probably even people that aren't either or that you just want to get off your chest. That does fucking help. Um, so 100% definitely advocate for that. And to your point, yeah, there's a lot of things that you could boost and counteract feeling depressed. That doesn't have to be medication. Another thing you left out there that does work, and I'm doing it again lately myself, is working out. It doesn't have to be this really critical regimen, but like just
Wait, did I leave that out? I
doing
thought I said
15
movement.
minutes. Huh?
Did I leave it out? I thought I said movement.
Maybe you did. Maybe you did then. But yeah, but just like
But you're
just work out.
100% right. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, all those are very very good attributes. And another thing that not to, since we do love, and this kind of stems from a video game podcast, I truly believe that video games are my drug, but it's also my anti-drug.
It
Like
is.
they're one and the same, and I will die on that hill. And I think that brings me back to my story earlier. Is like when that's how I noticed. It's like, dude, I love video games. Why the fuck am I not playing? Like I'm in some deep shit right now because like that's usually that takes me away, takes me from reality. Um, so yeah, like it's definitely a sneaky stalker, but like if let me say this for those that may think somebody that may be uh, having it or dealing with it, uh, like try to make them talk. I mean, you can't force anybody either, right? Like to your point, you thought you were fine. I thought I was fine, but until you get them to break out of that shell to then identify that something isn't fine, you got to make those attempts.
Yeah. And like I like I was saying earlier, I've you can notice somebody have depression because I've noticed people that have depression. Like I'm not gonna say their names, but there's sometimes when you notice somebody in trouble and you want to help them, if they don't want to help themselves, sometimes you have to learn how to back off because if they don't want to help themselves, you can't help them. And I think that's another hard part that dealing with depression is that you have to, if you see somebody struggling and you want to help them, sometimes you just can't unless they want it. Like for me, if I didn't catch it myself, I probably wouldn't have gotten better. Like somebody told me, and then luckily I was, I guess, in a place where I could recognize that for me to want to take those changes. But unfortunately, with these situations, it's like the only person that could really cure somebody is themselves, and that's one of the worst things about depression is that only they can cure themselves. You can help, but only they can do it.
Yeah, no, that is entirely true. Like it's one identifying and then two actually seeking the help to dissolve the depression, so to speak. Um, no, that's all true. I mean that goes without saying with almost any addiction, like whether it's alcoholism, you know, name every drug out there in the book, like, you know, any type of addiction, like,
So
it is what it is.
I guess what the follow up, a positive to this
Hmm.
is how we were talking about ways to get out of it. If you catch yourself in a depression, like this is for everybody, what would your first thing to be to get out of it? Like for me, I have like how you say you love video games and you like to associate with it. I do too. I'll be like, if I like to level up my character in a video game, I should do that in real life too. Like if I want to boost a digital stat, I should boost my physical stats. Um,
I've often told myself that as well. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But that exact mentality are positive traits that I think a lot of people don't really make and tie with gaming and in the real world. So
but not just like gaming related, but like I I think for me, if I ever catch myself in another depressed state again, which hopefully that doesn't happen for a while, I think the first steps I would do to get myself out of that rut is drink a lot more water and just soak in the sun as much as you can because for some reason the sun oddly enough can give you energy like a battery if you're in it long enough. Obviously it can take it away too if you're in it for too long, but for some reason water and sun almost gave me the enough energy to really make the real changes I needed, like to go back to the gym or take more walks or change my routine up and to get myself cleaned up. What would your starting path be if you recognize you have depression? How would you start yourself to get out of it?
I would just say don't be well, it's just talking. Like I don't know about exact changes, like those type of changes. I just think talking. Um like I said, it's tough, especially I think it might be tougher for younger people. And I think that's what dare I say made it easier for me because you know it sounds silly to say this, but I'm an adult now. So it's like I don't feel like I need to hold anything back anymore. Like not like I'm you know, the old people they'll say anything and not give a flying fuck. But no, I'm just saying like I don't have nothing to hide. Like I don't you know I don't how can I put it? Yeah, I mean it's just like I'm gonna say it. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Like here are my problems. What are your thoughts? This is how it's affecting me. I know I'm someone guilty that overanalyzes, and that's kind of what also probably contributes to anxiety. But yeah, I mean, even though that could be negative, like I always also look at it as a positive because if I don't really jump into certain situations not caring what the outcome is, like no, I kind of want to know what my outcome is in certain like regards. Um, so yeah, I just say talk.
It's funny that you say because I think it also depends on the person too. Because like I do say I will agree that talking does help, but I think over talking could be a problem too. Because I'm one of those people where if I talk too much about it, it just makes it worse for me. I think I just need to talk, get the idea starting point, and just do it. Because if I talk too much, then I procrastinate, or then I start having second thoughts, and then that's when I go back into that rut. I, because I know other people are different. Sometimes talking does not help them. Sometimes it's more actions than vocal.
Mm-hmm.
And
But, but you're right. The talking definitely could contribute to overthinking, which then contributes to anxiety. 100%. I mean, um, but to your point, it's different for everybody, right? So it's like you got to know your equilibrium, and even that alone is such a testament.
mm,
Um, and that's what makes it so challenging because everyone's different. I think in that regard, though, is now I feel like we're kind of circling and going against what we're kind of talking. I think though that's kind of maybe why going for professional treatment is probably the way because I think they're more trained to identify and navigate through the different types of uh, personalities.
yeah, because I
Um,
think that's the big issue is that like depression isn't just one thing. It's like
no,
it's different for every single body. Like some people are better when they talk. Some people are better when they just are active. Some people are just better if they just change whatever. Because some I'm not sure you probably have this, but there's some people in my life where I would never tell my problems because if I tell them, they usually give the worst advice, and I'm just like, okay, instead of talking, just do the action. And like you said, maybe a professional if they're good can see these different forms and maybe associate it to your personality, give you a better suggestion to help you get out of it.
mhm.
Because yeah, sometimes there's people that you just don't want to talk to because they almost make it
No,
worse.
that's 200% correct. I mean, yeah, when I say talk, I didn't mean like go shout and go to the person at the bus stop like, hey, I'm gonna go talk to you about my problems. No, you definitely have to be selective, and I was selective as to who I talked to. So like all my, well, I shouldn't say all, but most of my friends that I felt that I needed to talk to, and certain family members that I knew would offer the best advice. So
Yeah.
100%.
It's funny how this also kind of like ties into what we were talking about last week, what we look for in a relationship, because like for me it's just I need to hear the truth. Even if I don't like it, I need to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the weird thing is that, everybody says they want the truth, but not everybody wants to hear the truth.
Mm-hmm. You can't handle the truth.
but
Sometimes that is true.
but yeah, it's just weird because I was like really thinking about this, and I think I just want to talk because I know there's a lot of people that I know, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people and there's people all around the world that struggle with this and might not even realize they have depression and how to get out of it, because it's one of those things, once you're in it, sometimes really difficult to get out. So hopefully while we talk about this and we give ideas, people notice it themselves and they take the initiative to get themselves on a better track, because it sucks being just out of energy and just unhappy for no reason. Like, yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, no, it does suck.
But I guess we can move on to number two, which I guess might be contributing to some people's depression right now,
That is
is
true.
Twitter verification, the reckoning. Because for those of you that don't know, Twitter was recently bought up by Elon Musk, and they did a couple changes this following week. One of them was Twitter Blue finally got a um, second option, which is Twitter verification, where if you pay $8 a month, you get verified, plus a couple other benefits that Twitter Blue offered. And with this option, people were trolling Twitter. They would be verified, they would change their name, they would impersonate official accounts, and they would get banned.
Well, the better part of that story is I, I don't know how many episodes, but I'm pretty sure it's quite a few episodes. So the people impersonating were obviously saying some whatever type things, and then you would actually get a real verified person comment on that fake person, and then they say something just as dumb, but they're the real person.
So I don't know
So
which one you're relating to, because I didn't see that. I know people were saying
no,
some.
there was. I mean, like I said, I don't know how commonplace it was, but there were some scenarios that way. So that's why well, it's not the only reason why, but it's a reason why it's becoming a huge fucking issue already. No surprise, because I'm pretty sure they didn't really think this out. Like after our discussion about this last week, like I hate to be so cynical about this, but now I am, where he doesn't give a flying fuck about this. He really doesn't. I think like this whole $8 thing is his way to recoup. I truly believe that now.
So
I really do.
the $8 thing. So I'm with and somewhat against you. I think he does care. I think the way it was implemented was not the
I think
best.
he bought it for some fucking coding algorithm, whatever. I don't think he gives a fuck about anything
No,
else.
I really think. Okay, so to counter you, I think he does care, because every business he's a part of, he's usually heavily invested in. SpaceX, Tesla, he's going to be involved in Twitter. He's been super active on Twitter. And I think this is part of a publicity stunt to get his money back as well, because there's no doubt he's hurting for money. He sold, I think, 4 billion stocks of Tesla to recuperate some money. So he definitely wants money back, but I think he does care, because since then, you can no longer buy Twitter verification. They took that option out. It was only for iOS too. It wasn't on Android. It was just iOS only. And then they pulled that option like 4 days later after it was released.
You
Uh,
sure? I think you can still get it, but what you
nope,
cannot do right now is change your name.
nope. They officially pulled the option to buy it.
Okay. Okay.
It was if it's they actually just did it today.
Okay.
So if you try it, you can't buy it. And oddly enough, it was only for iOS. So people on Android were really upset about this because they wanted verification, but they couldn't get it because it was only for Apple. But I think the way he should have done this was because in the terms of service, they said you cannot impersonate an account unless if you purposely put parody. But unfortunately, you have to put parody in the name. It wasn't very specified, and a lot of people got banned for this. But I think what he should do is there should be a limit on what you can change your name to. I think your name should only be limited to what your handle is or what is closely related to your handle. Because, like, for example, my handle on Twitter is JoshuaCast. I should only be allowed to change my name within Joshua and Cast on my handle. I shouldn't be allowed to impersonate somebody else. I think that's the stupidest idea Twitter has ever had, because even before this verification thing happened, trolling has occurred. A lot of people impersonated Disney. A lot of people impersonated hockey teams and said tradings happened. And people believed it because nobody looks for an investigation. But I think with this, he learned a very valuable lesson on how to push this out next time. Because
Well, time will tell. I just like social media. Well, not even social media. The internet, for the most part, has always been a world of parody, satire, trolls, all that shit. I mean,
oh,
I don't.
100%.
In my personal opinion, I don't think the internet would have flourished otherwise.
No, I agree.
Uh,
But
but with that said, it's like it's like they're trying to turn and mold it into this. I mean, in some facet, like a digital reality where you have to be vetted and be yourself, otherwise you can't be at all.
well, I think this is the opposite effect here, because with
No. What's happening is the opposite effect, but I think that's what they want to mold it to, which I don't really agree with.
see, I can't necessarily agree with that, because you can be a parody account, but you purposely make your account parody. You can't have like a personal account and say you're you and then change it. I feel like you should
Well,
have
yeah, I mean that's
designated
just
accounts.
that's totally fraud. Yeah.
But I feel like Twitter and also other social media, not just Twitter, they still allow parody. It's just you have to make sure you set your account up for parody. Because like there's actual channels that purposely post memes 24/7, and that's what they're known for. And some of them are even verified because they post memes 24/7. But if you're a personal account and you use it as a personal account, but then you decide to turn it to a parody account, I think there's the issue that they need to start, categorizing these accounts to make sure people understand what's personal for, an individual user, what's a company account, what's a comedic account, and then what's a political account. I think there should be categories for every account. Because
And
everybody's
then and then are you only allowed to then be part of one said account, or are you able to then have multiple?
well, if you look now, you can actually make multiple accounts
No,
off the
I
same
know,
email.
but I'm asking you like either maybe multiple question. How do you think it should be, or and then how do you think it'll end up being?
So obviously, I think the identification should be categorized. You can still interact with any account if you're personal, comedic, company, whatever, because you'll be able to see it on your feed. And if you do want to create multiple accounts, that is an option. You want to create a personal account where it's just more talking about you and your opinions, that's fine. You can create a second account for parody, comedic, whatever, third account for politics. You're capable of doing that in the same email.
Yeah, so you're still in the green for burner accounts. Then you still
Yeah, because everybody does it. Companies have multiple burner accounts. They have their
I'm not.
official,
I know they do. I'm just.
like for example, Twitter. They have their official handle. They have their Twitter Blue handle. They have their Twitter support handle. Every company, every
They got
professional.
Twitter Mexico. They got Twitter UK. They got no. I get it.
So like I
But
think
those aren't burner accounts. Those are still
they're alt
company
accounts.
professional accounts though.
Yes, but they're categorized though. That's what I'm saying. I think categorized needs to be a thing in in social media so people don't get fooled. Because everybody automatically assumes it's an individual person instead of somebody
And,
purposely marketing
and
something.
I think that really those are there's two things in this whole social media world that drives me nuts. It's the gullibleness, if that's even a word, of a lot of people, and then which also then kind of leads to like the cancel culture group. Um, like that's their fucking problem.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. It's like if you're gullible to, like you said, not do your own research and take whatever is tweeted for gospel, that's your fucking problem. You go spur that nonsense somewhere else and spread additional lies just based on what you read.
I'm,
Like
I'm
that's your problem.
I'm trying to look at it
Um,
now, but Twitter actually has implemented an update recently since Elon bought it. They have where you can actually make a post and actually topic it, where it's like, education, science, whatever.
Hmm.
So I think they're working on categorization, which I think is probably the way it should go, because people can still do whatever they want, but at least people will know where it's from then. And obviously, gullible is a thing that people should watch out for, but there's also people that are too good at impersonating somebody else to make it look like it's authentic.
I mean, are there people that are really good? Yes, but I think it's also just part gullible, but just also part stupidity because it doesn't take much to really squint your eyes a little bit and look at that account
Or just
just
click
a little
on.
bit, just a little bit, just to say, you know what? That's not that person.
I
Oh,
agree.
they almost got me, but it's not that person.
I
Like,
agree.
come on, really?
I agree with you. People should do research instead of, I'm just saying how Twitter can handle this to make it better for all. Obviously,
Yeah.
there's individual responsibility, which you should do your research, because you can easily click on somebody's profile and see if they're really them by their followers and interactions. Like, that's a given.
Hmm.
But I'm just saying that Twitter going forward, I think they are making steps to make it better, because I think they launched this too early, and I think Elon was just trigger happy.
Oh, oh yeah, it was shot from the hip, and that's why I got so cynical about it because like there really was no thought put into this, and if anybody should have known, it should have been him. He's a fucking troll himself. Come on, be real.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I think he
Like
did
he
this.
should have known this shit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think he did this for two reasons. One, he was testing something out to see how it would work. And two, he would generate media, because people have been talking about this nonstop. And because of people talking about nonstop, Twitter's interaction and growth has skyrocketed since his purchase, and probably has the most user base or user activity since maybe the early 2010s. So I think this was a good public win for him. Obviously, user base are still debating and arguing, but I think he made enough of a presence to get people on the platform to talk about it, because people are complaining on Twitter, which I think is hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think because of this, he also did a test run to see how this can work going forward. So he got the second part, the analysis version of this, and how to implement it better later on when they um introduce Twitter Verified or Twitter Blue, whatever they're calling it now.
So he's doing his own live alpha testing.
Yeah, and it in a way it worked.
And making people pay to do the alpha test.
In a way it worked, because like
So stupid.
right now it worked because
Oh god.
people bought Verified. I bought Verified.
I'm not buying it.
I bought it because besides the verification badge, you do get a lot of cool features that I did want. Like you get to space your interactions out. You get to bookmark things. You get to create a Twitter circle, Twitter list of people you want to interact with or people you want to interact with in the future. So it's great for categorization and great for looking for people to collaborate in the future with or collaborate as an entrepreneur. So it's worth
I
it
mean,
if you're looking at it that way.
yeah, I mean, like I said, maybe I'm just getting too old for this shit. I could give a flying fuck.
Well, if that's the case, then unfortunately you should not stream, because in order to grow, you need to do this.
I still like to stream.
I mean, that's fine. Like, obviously, I've been taking the hobby approach, but I'm just saying if you want to grow, you gotta do it.
No $8 for me. No $96 a year. No, thank you. No gracias.
That's fine. Somebody else,
I'll do fine without it.
some other company will take it from you, and that's fine. Um,
Fine.
but with this, I thought it was hilarious because people are, obviously bashing Twitter. But related to this, Twitter's not the only one having problems here. Facebook is also having a lot of problems. Facebook actually laid off more than Twitter employees recently. When Elon bought Twitter, he laid off 1,300 people. I believe that's the number they said.
I thought it was
Facebook,
like 11,000 or something.
I had to relook. I thought it was 1,100. Maybe it could be 11,000.
Maybe they don't even have 11,000 people. I don't know.
But I know Facebook just
Or maybe it's
recently.
1,100.
I know Facebook recently just released 3,000 people from Facebook. And I don't know if that's just Facebook or Facebook and Instagram, but I know 3,000 people were let go because of financial reasons and supposedly connected to the metaverse, which Facebook is really trying hard to push. And then now Twitch is also having issues. We probably talked about this before, but Twitch also has been pushing heavily on streamers to force ads on their streams. And I wonder if
Wait,
this.
to do what now?
So Since I know you don't pay attention to any of this stuff. You're very new and you don't care, but Twitch is basically telling streamers to run ads as much as they can to make money. They even give you a chart
Oh,
in your creator dashboard for incentivization of how if you run this amount of ads, you get this amount of money. It's like they're pushing you to run these ads. And a
wait, you're
lot
saying Twitch or Twitter? I'm sorry.
Twitch.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I knew about that.
Yeah. So all social media platforms are currently having this advertisement issue right now, and they're
Hmm.
trying to market because realistically, all of them are kind of burning through money right now, and they're trying to figure out a way to recoup it. And they're either using ads to get that money back, or they're using paid subscriptions to get their money back. And right now, I think they're trying to figure out that formula.
Yeah, the ad thing, it's they try to spin it and paint it that like, oh, you as a streamer, you get more money now from ad revenue, which there is a grain of truth there. However, I think for the like myself, the smaller streamers, um, it's debilitating because you join and then you got like fucking 4 minutes of ads. Like, unless you like, yeah, I'm not gonna
Yeah, you have to
go
plan.
off.
You have to plan your breaks accordingly to those ads because let's be honest, most streamers, most real streamers that really just want to play games, interact with their viewers, they don't want to play a 5 minute ad just so they can make a 30-minute ad break. Like
Exactly.
that's silly, and you have no
Well, that's
choice.
the way I'm doing it though.
But you have no choice, regardless if you
Well,
do it that
you
way.
still you still do,
No,
right?
no,
You
you
still have
don't.
a
If you don't
no.
if you don't
Right,
run
right
your
now you
ads,
do.
no,
Right now you do.
right now if you don't run your um, 1 minute, 2 minute ads, you're gonna have sporadic 30-second ads throughout your videos. Like for you, you don't realize it as a streamer, but when I watch you, I get hit with 9 minute or 9 ads back to back to back every 15 minutes because you don't run your ads for 2 minutes and
No,
give.
I am running my ads unless I turn them off or and I forgot to turn them back on. But I did have them on. Um, and maybe I am misinformed, but I thought if they weren't run, then that just means well, then you would get no ad revenue.
No, it means Twitch decides when they put ads there.
Mm.
So you have the choice of when those ads pop up.
I think I still have them on because I thought I had someone join and says, "Oh, excuse me, I'll be back soon. I got the ad of
Yes,
the wave of ads hitting me
but
soon."
that's what I'm saying. You have two ways to do this. You either can control when the ads happen, or you can
Correct.
let Twitch control when the ads happen. And that's the problem, is that you have no choice if ads happen. They are going to happen no matter what. So you could either choose to happen when there's a down period in your stream, and you can run for 2 minutes and have a 30-minute interval in your stream where there's going to be guaranteed no ads for anyone. Or if you don't run those 2 minute ads every 30 minutes, it's going to be sporadic for everyone. They're going to hit with nine ads at one time. So no matter what, Twitch is going to hit you with multiple ads, regardless if you want it or not. So the streamer gets to choose when it happens, and if they don't
Correct.
choose, then their streamers are going to have a horrible view experience.
I think either way, they're having a horrible view
Oh,
experience.
I agree. I agree, but they
like
don't.
like I said, like I know for at least I'll have to double check them now today. But I thought I had all mines up front.
Well, you have to
Like
hit. You have.
get them done, get them over with, and then enjoy yourself for hopefully an hour.
Yeah, but you have to keep doing that every hour, though. That's
No,
the.
and that's my point. Yeah, but yeah, either way, it's shitty. Like you said, it's definitely a pick your poison scenario. But I don't want to pick either poison. But it's all
But that's what I'm saying. Like they give you the illusion of choice. The only choice they give you is when you can place your ads if you manually do it.
yeah.
Regardless, it's gonna happen.
And I'm just saying, like I think for small streamers, it's a struggle because
Yeah,
like
it kills their channels.
for the larger ones, it don't really bother them because they're probably going to stick through it anyways to watch their favorite streamer, or B, they're not going to have as many because they're making money anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So
No,
they do get less ads on their channels if they want it that way.
and I 100% agree with you because of these ads, either if you choose to put them or have Twitch do it, as a
Mhm.
small or I don't want to say small, as a not fully established creator,
As a one viewer streamer.
yeah, you will lose that retention rate because, like you said, people will
Yeah.
flock to their favorite streamer. And if you're not their favorite streamer, if an ad hits you, they're most likely going to click off of you and go immediately somewhere else. And that's a huge issue that Twitch hasn't realized yet, that it's hurting the people that are not established yet. They're just, coming up. Or
However, I mean, but that's just the viewer. That's the viewer's line of thought and their logic. But jumping up to another streamer doesn't uh, negate those ads. Like now you just go somewhere else, and what's going to happen immediately with that next person? Oh, you're going to get ads. So you might just sit there.
No,
Although if you suck after they wait and they're like, ah, fuck, I just wasted 3-4 minutes of my time. When I could have went to my favorite. I don't know. Like, yeah, it's just a shitty formula right now.
well, right. I actually figured a workaround for this, and I'm not sure if you could do that. Obviously, you could put ad block on Twitch. I think it still works.
Yeah. And that's what I was trying to allude to you. I said you could block them, but you just won't get revenue.
But that's only if you're on desktop. If you're on mobile, it's something else. You don't have.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I was alluding to.
But with mobile, there's actually a workaround. So, for example, if I watch your stream and I get hit with 9 ads back to back, I immediately close your stream out and reopen it, and the ads go away. And I do this with everybody. Whenever I get ads, I immediately close the stream and reopen it.
I mean, it doesn't bother me none. Like, because would I like to get revenue? Of course, but like, it's not my means of revenue, right? So it's not really hurting me at any, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But I wonder, by you doing that, for those that may want that revenue, you'd probably be fucking them over, right?
Oh, 100%. But see, this is where Twitch is missing an opportunity, and this, I think, this is where Twitter is actually going to probably gain from Twitter verification or $8. So if you have Amazon Prime, which is their plus version, you get obviously drops, free games, whatever. But they used to have something called Twitch Nitro, which they kind of scrapped. It might be there still, but I think they should get rid of Twitch Nitro and just make it Twitch Prime. And if you have Twitch Prime, you immediately bypass ads. Whatever ads we're going to play, because no matter what, if you have Twitch Prime, you're paying for Amazon as a service. It's either for the shipping thing or Twitch itself. But because you're paying, you should be allowed to bypass ads, but the ads you bypass should still go to the streamer that you're watching. Like, let's say, for example, I have Amazon Prime. I'm watching you.
No, I'm following you, but I thought, and maybe this is once again lack of my knowledge here, I thought if a viewer subscribes to you, then they don't get ads anymore.
That's what I see too, but I'm subscribed to a couple people and I still get ads on their channel. I don't know if this is because the streamer puts ads, but so far, because
we might need to look in our options. I think that might be it. I think some are, dare I say it this way, still greedy, and I think that is a toggle option that even though they're subscribed, you could still force ads on them.
I'm gonna have to check, because I was subscribed to you. Well, I think it's either my Prime might have ran out for you, but I was subscribed to you for a long time, and I would still get ads from you. And I know you didn't hit them yourself, unless if you did, and then I get hit with 9 back to back.
Shit, I'm not even that. I don't even know how the fuck to do that.
Because I've been subscribed to you multiple months because of Twitch.
Because that was another feature I thought. When they started this new ad system, that on my end, that I'd be able to, I know I could control it before I start the stream, right? Like when it starts, yada yada yada. But the way I read it, unless I'm missing something, that I can control on my end to pause it. Like they're still going to happen, but like say I'm playing like doing the mount runs, right? Like, okay, I'm about to open this chest. Oh shit, I see that the ad's about to hit. Well, let me pause it for another minute, or delay it another minute. I thought I was able to do that on my end, but I haven't seen it.
But to your point, though, with the sub, it does actually say in the description you won't get ads. But for some reason, it doesn't seem like it actually works.
Yeah, interesting. I'm going to look at my settings again after this podcast.
But it's just weird, like, going from Twitter to Facebook to Twitch, it seems like all these social media platforms, and I think YouTube somehow mastered this because they already started with ads. But because I think all these technically free platforms were so free for so long, they're now trying to figure out ways to recoup. And I think right now they're so late to the subscription game that they're really trying to figure it out. So do you think because of these current conditions that, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, and do you think some of them might go bankrupt like people are predicting, or do you think they're going to stay safe? I think they're going to be good still. But there's been a lot of rumors that, Twitter, according to, I'm not sure if it was real, I just seen like an article from IGN, but half the time I don't believe them. They said that Elon Musk said that bankruptcy may be in Twitter's future. But bankruptcy doesn't mean they're going down. It just means they can reorganize their financials with whatever businesses do. Because businesses go in bankruptcy all the time, and somehow they're able to recoup.
Yeah, I didn't see that article. What at least thought I read earlier today was he admitted that next year they are going to have losses, but he does not foresee them filing or going into bankruptcy. That's what I read.
Okay, so,
Now,
like I
now
said,
this whole thing is evolving and changing constantly. So, what I read probably earlier today could have changed a couple hours ago from what you read. So,
well, like I was saying, I read from IGN, they're not really 100% reliable.
yeah, I don't remember where I read it from, but I know I read it. I don't think it was from IGN. Let me just put it that way. I'm not going to go to something that's more video game oriented for that type of
Yeah.
information. Anyway,
Oddly enough,
I
there's a
don't.
lot of people covering. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. Um, I don't know. Like I don't know how to answer that. Like I can't envision those big ass companies doing it. But then again, I don't know. Look at like FTX that just happened. I mean, that's a whole fiasco.
Well,
But like, I mean, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to think of something that like really was like I was awestruck that went bankrupt.
well, there's a lot of companies that went bankrupt, like Sears. Nobody thought Sears would ever get
Okay,
taken
but
over, but
Sears
that's
is a
because
department store. You're talking about a social media platform that, especially like Facebook, I
I
think
know, no,
maybe
but
over the others that is used worldwide.
I know, but I'm talking about
Sears isn't worldwide.
no, well, it was, um, but that they just had horrible management. They
Like,
decided to not
like I
evolve.
think, like like if something like a Sony, right, at Sony's level, filed for bankruptcy and went, poof, that would be huge, right? Like I'm trying to think of something to that magnitude that has like a worldwide thing. Like I think even Disney said they're going to have losses for the first time in like 30 years or something like that.
Well, so this is where I'm gonna go to next. Is I don't think they're gonna fall as a company. I think they're always gonna be around as a company because they're just too big to fail. But I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna pull their reach back in certain categories. Like for example, Facebook. They didn't just do Facebook and Instagram. They branched really heavy into the virtual reality space, the metaverse, and they're trying to do marketing for houses. They were trying to build um, oh man, I wish I could remember. But they're basically trying to build a reality where people can go in there, talk, socialize, whatever. And they invest a lot of wealth in there, but didn't succeed. I think because they pushed too far out of their norm, they're gonna have to cut projects like that out and go back to what they were used to recuperate that money. Because, like for example, Warner Brothers, just like Disney, they had too many projects lined up, and because they had too many projects lined up, their funds got thin. And if a project doesn't succeed and it becomes a fail, then they're just losing money and more money and more money, and then they have to start cutting these projects that they're working on in the future. Like Warner Brother, I think, cut over 30 movies that they were gonna release because of just funding being too thin. And I think that's what these companies like Facebook, Disney, and Warner Brother and Twitch are probably going to do. Is they're going to stop reaching out and start closing their circle back in until they finally establish what their circle is.
Um, I mean, if Facebook were to do that, I think it would be positive because that's not the only reason, but it's definitely a big reason why I am going to end my account soon here because I don't want to be fucked with Facebook anymore. So if they do that, goodbye them. Maybe it should work. Like seriously, like I mean, I don't want to say that's what starts ushering the greed aspect, but like you have a model, you have something working. I get it. You want to grow that empire and you want to start exploring avenues that you normally not used to, but like I don't know. That was a little too daunting, I guess. But Twitch, I don't know. I don't know how that would fall. I guess like you would need a very large amount of people to go to other streaming services like YouTube and stuff. I just don't know how feasible that is.
Well, for Twitch, I'm gonna relate it to Amazon as a company because Twitch is bought by Amazon. Amazon owns
Hmm.
them. and because Amazon is expending money like crazy from all the projects, like from
Gotcha.
creating their products to creating movies and shows. Like for example, like even though we didn't talk about Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, that was $1 billion production. Even though
Hmm.
I liked it, and a lot of people that watched it liked it.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, it wasn't a success, and they lost money on it. And
Hmm.
because of that, I think, because of projects like that, them spending so much money, that's why they're trying so hard with these ads, and that's why they're reeling things back in. Because like same thing with Facebook, like I think Facebook when they invest in the metaverse, it was close to like maybe I could be wrong, but I think it was like $20 billion, which is a lot of money.
Yeah, and that I just don't know. But just to go full circle, and then as far as Twitter, the fall of Twitter, I mean, same thing. You just got to have accounts that don't exist anymore, and a lot of people that just are going to walk away from it. Will that happen? I don't know. I highly doubt it. Right? It's just like having to have gas in your car unless everybody goes electric. Like I'm just being real here. Like it's
And even
there's,
electric
there's,
isn't the
there,
best option because no matter what, you're still expending a lot of energy. So it's like no matter what you choose, is it really better than what you already had?
I'm just like it may not have been the best metaphor, but like
No,
I'm
no,
just like
I was using the metaphor
I'm
with
just throwing. No, I mean I'm
the
just
company.
throwing something out there. Like I mean, I think it was a good metaphor. I'm just saying it probably wasn't the best metaphor, but like, but seriously, it's like there are certain things I feel are so instilled into our daily lives that, like a cell phone, for example, can't really see it falling.
Oh
Doesn't mean
yeah,
it can't happen. I just don't foresee it.
yeah,
Like
because
that's
it basically becomes a foundation in normal living. Like I said, there's things that it could lose money, it will never go away. Like for example, toilet paper. They'll never. They could lose money like crazy, but they'll never go away.
and everybody's gonna get a bidet, and even people with bidets probably still wipe their ass a little bit afterwards. So you know.
Yeah, but what I think what when you were talking about the cars, I wasn't saying electric versus gas is bad. I'm just saying that
No. I
I'm just
wasn't. I didn't get that from you at all. Anyway, so
I'm just saying that like people give options and they want to see it's like always green on the other side, but it's like really it's the same thing. Because like
well,
for example, like I know since Twitter's been having the issue, Tumblr has been advertising like crazy, saying we're weird but we're free, and then people went to Tumblr and they're like, this ain't it.
yeah, I've never been on it, nor do I know how it functions. So I really, as far as social media, I limited my social media options. I mean, because I wasn't a day one Twitter person either. It took me a while to get on Twitter. Not that I had anything really negative against it. I was just like, I got Facebook. Why do I need Twitter? I
Yeah.
do the same things. So like that was my thing, and then and that there's so many just like even I know you're on TikTok, but like the Snapchats. I mean, before TikTok was Vine. Like the it's just it gets oversaturated, and yes, there are the ones like TikTok that will break through and succeed massively. But I never signed up for everything because I'm just like, why am I gonna waste my time? I have one that's working for me. I'm gonna waste my time with.
So it's interesting that you say saturation because I 100% agree with you. Social media market is extremely saturated, but because of the saturation, I feel like this is like the golden age for digital entertainers to like branch out because
Oh,
they
it
could be
has been, yeah, for sure.
like for example, like I'm on everything, but that's not because I actually really want to use it. It's just because I want to promote that way.
No,
And
and you are right with that line of thought. Like I know we didn't really get an argument, but you mentioned earlier, you're like, well, if you want to grow, you have to use it. I understand the benefits of being on all these platforms. I do. I'm just being honest. I'm fucking lazy and I don't give a shit. Like that's me. Like I'm like, if I'm gonna succeed, like I feel if you work okay, like you're working it right, you're working your ass off. And I hope the fruits of your labor go and blossom at some point. But like ultimately, I feel like there has to be a big break. Like there has to be like a luck involved
oh,
to
100%.
be successful. So until I identify that happens to me at some point, then I'll probably start exploring those avenues. Right now, I just don't think it's in the best interest of my time.
Well, so okay, so you are right. There's multiple ways to grow. Obviously, the biggest way is you strike gold, a viral video happens, you get shared. That's always the best opportunity. That's like win the jackpot.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to win the jackpot, you gotta keep trying. If you don't post anything, your chances of hitting that goal is very slim to none.
Okay, you're right. You are, instead of me buying one quick pick for Powerball, you're buying 10 quick picks for Powerball. You're right. You're right. I can't detest that.
So, I mean, obviously, there could be that, the Maverick where they post one video and there's massively Justin Bieber playing the guitar and Usher picks it up. But not everybody's a Maverick. Let's be real.
No, exactly. No, and I understand that as well. And like I said, I'm not also trying to denounce that by doing everything that you're saying to do doesn't work, because there are obviously examples of it working. But for my lifestyle and my time, like, that's not the best use of my time.
I agree. Like I said, if I wasn't doing this, I wouldn't be on social media at all. But because I am doing it, it makes sense to do it. That's why it's like, it's almost weird. It's like, obviously, to answer, I'm not going to force you because I don't, it affects you.
Because you're not going to.
No, because
it's not the best use of your time.
Yeah, because if me forcing you to do it, it's only going to benefit you. It doesn't benefit me.
That's not true.
But
that line of thought is not true, because then we wouldn't be doing a podcast together.
Well, you're getting benefit from this because you're streaming it. I'm getting benefit because I'm also streaming it. So we're both benefiting.
But that's my point.
But me forcing you to be on multiple platforms doesn't benefit me. It's just me helping benefit you because I'm a good friend.
It actually would in the event that you would now have two people promoting the same podcast on two different accounts rather than one account.
But that's not what I was saying earlier. We got off on a weird sidetrack though. But I'm saying that, before sometimes I'm convinced when our topics, it's more about us than it is about the actual topic. Because I was trying to talk about as a whole here, like how this oversaturation is good for digital content creators, and you're like, well, I don't like it for myself, and I'm like, what? I wasn't asking for you. I wasn't asking for myself either. but right now, I feel like because of this oversaturation, it's like, pros and cons. Because of saturation, I feel like everybody that's doing digital creation is loving it right now because they have so many ways to get explored. And I think that's why social media is just one of those staples now because of that.
No, 200%. Like, I mean, I cannot deny that, and I've identified that. I hear you now. Every time I say I feel like I can't say I.
No, you can, like, we both do this. I do this too. But
yeah, it's like we as a world are in a golden age of opportunity, and have been really since the dawning of social media, to go out there and become self-made. Not necessarily even have to be an entrepreneur, but just become self-made. And that goes with any type of even like creative and artistic venture. Like, I mean, sometimes I feel like there's so many talented people out there, like even just, music, like people that are on there playing the guitar and singing that are so fucking talented, but yet nobody knows who the fuck they are still, even with all this different social media stuff. So, once again, it kind of like goes full circle to what I'm saying. Like, even though they are that so talented, it still has, to your point, like to Justin Bieber, to who the fuck was it again? I can only remember who the fuck found him.
Usher?
Was it Usher? Yeah, it was Usher, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why I was thinking Pharrell. But I know, and I think Pharrell found Ed Sheeran, I think. But
yeah, he did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's why I was getting a little confused. But yeah, so sometimes, like, it still takes that big break. But to your point, having all those different avenues increases those chances for a big break. So.
But you said something fantastic, and this is the second thing that can help you grow too. Like, you and I have both found creators that are really good at their craft. It's just unfortunate they didn't get the break. There's a TikTok I seen. I know you go on TikTok, but there was this like little like audio clip of like, don't support, like, obviously you could support whoever you want, but they're like, why are you investing so much time on somebody that's already established? Like, why would I support Kanye West when I could support my friend that's trying to do the same thing? It's like, your friend's not going to grow if you don't help your friend grow. Like, for example, whenever you post stuff, I share as much as I can because I want you to grow. And I think that's the only way we can move forward with people that don't hit viral stuff, is by sharing all this stuff. Like, for example, there's a guy that does World of Warcraft lore, Noble87. I would. He doesn't know me because I don't talk much in the chat, but there was a time where I really wanted him to grow because I thought he'd put a lot of effort, but didn't get a lot of rewards for it. I shared it on Reddit, I shared it on Twitter, I shared it on YouTube. How much did that play an effect? Probably very little. But I think because other people had the same mentality that they wanted him to grow, he's now a more established creator, and he's finally getting the rewards he deserves because of the work he put in. I think that's the mentality as us as consumers should do. Is if we have friends or we have something that we like that isn't known or established, we should help them as much as we can instead of putting our time and effort to people that are already established and share them.
Well, no, I mean you're 100% correct, but like unfortunately, that's not how our
That's not.
society
Yeah.
unfortunately functions and works. I compare that to just like leaving positive or negative reviews on a restaurant on Yelp, like or whatever. Like you're going to see more negative reviews because people that do have positive experiences rarely go that extra length to leave a positive experience, right? Same to be said with sharing other people's content. Like whether you want to dub it selfish, I don't know, but that's just kind of the way society has been wired.
And this is because you are 100% correct. That is how society works. But because that is how society works, doesn't mean we have to accept how society works. We can start.
Oh no, no, no.
We can start slowly by ourselves by sharing that mentality. That mentality can be shared with other people, and they can share that mentality, and they can basically rework the societal standards of sharing. And I think that's what we should do. And it starts with one person, and just keep moving it forward. Like, for you, for the Dukes of Gaming, for Nightwing of Pyrule, for anyone else that I'm networking with, I'm trying really hard to promote more of this stuff because that's the mentality I'm trying to pick up now. Is if I like them, I support them, I think they're good. I need to do my part to help them grow. And I think that's how a lot of people, if you're hearing this, I think that's how a lot of people should be. If you like somebody and you really think they're worth it, help them as much as you can. Obviously, within your limits, you don't go broke doing it, but sharing helps more than people realize.
Yeah, no, a share could go a long way than just $4.99 a month.
Yeah.
I mean, in reality, that's what we're saying, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's true. It can be very, very fucking true.
No, the reason why I was laughing is because I thought you were making a joke about Twitter.
Oh no, that's $8 a month.
Well, the Twitter Blue was originally $4.99 before they did switch verification.
Oh, was it?
That's why I was laughing. I thought you were talking about them.
No, no. See, I didn't even know that.
But you're right. It is more. It is worth more than a $4.99 sub on Twitch. But I guess we can move on to the next topic, which is Xbox is a video game hero. So speaking of sharing, which is perfect for this, Xbox is now starting to see more light because they're looked at as the good guys. And I think they're purposely doing that not because they're the good guys, because they have a good marketing campaign. So recently, PlayStation announced their upcoming PS Plus category for their basically Game Pass service equivalent. And one of their highlight games is Skyrim for PS4 and 5, the anniversary edition, whatever. And Xbox basically promoted it being on PlayStation as well. And people are saying, see, look at how nice Xbox is because they own this company. They're still willing to share with PlayStation while PlayStation doesn't want to play nice with Xbox. And people are seeing Xbox as like the sharing, even though realistically they're getting more money. But it's funny how Xbox is like, they're taking the approach, if we play nice, we let all our games stay multiple platform, we're looked on in a better light, but also we make money. And I don't know why more companies aren't taking this approach.
Well, they're taking. I mean, you said it without maybe really fully flat out saying it. The reason why they're taking this approach is because they know there's so much money to be made on their end by doing it. So why wouldn't they do it?
No, I'm saying why are other companies seeing the light? Because like, see, this is why when I see
because they truly can't, or they truly aren't making money from it. I don't know. Like I think it all boils down to money in some facet.
Because seeing Xbox finally get like appreciation, as you were saying, cynical brain. I have it too because like as much as I like Xbox, I think they're in such a power position where this could turn evil for them really quick. Because right now, no matter what they do, they have PlayStation and Stranglehold. If
Yeah.
PlayStation goes multi-platform, it will PlayStation will lose the advantage they have for getting a PS5. Like if Final Fantasy went to Xbox or God of War, or whatever, a lot of people will get more Xboxes then. And I think right now, companies like PlayStation and Nintendo are basically stranglehold to the system because of Xboxes being ahead of the game, sharing their platforms. So I think I called them the hero, even though they might be the villain.
when you say sharing, do you truly mean that across all platforms or just because of the PC aspect, the dynamic?
When I say sharing, I'm talking about all their games are multi-platform. Like Skyrim is a Bethesda game, and Bethesda's owned by
Now,
Microsoft.
and I'm kind of taking a different thought approach on this. It's like once again they're doing it right, and they're trying to like whether you say paint a scene where hey, come on guys, we're doing it, why can't you do it? Okay, good for you guys. We're still giving you your cut because we're allowing it to be on our console, but all because you're doing doesn't mean we have to reciprocate this. Like, we like IRPs. We like IRPs to be only on our fucking consoles. So fuck off, Xbox. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just I don't I don't understand why like they're being now. I'm like taking it like they're being like annoying about it. Like,
No. See, I think you misunderstood what I was saying. Xbox really doesn't care if PlayStation games go on Xbox. I think
oh, they care. I think they care.
they don't.
You use Final Fantasy example, and you use an example for with good reason because there's money that they're missing.
No. So here, this is what I'm saying. They have them, and so if we're looking at this as a chessboard, PlayStation and Nintendo are checkmate on two different boards here. If PlayStation and Nintendo can't give up their first party IPs, leaving other platforms, like obviously PlayStation is going to PC, but that's because PC doesn't really have a stake in this game. But because Xbox is on multiple platforms, if PlayStation did go to Xbox, PlayStation would lose their console advantage to Xbox because of that. And because of that, they have to stay reserved.
I think they will lose money, but they won't like kind of tied in earlier talking about bankruptcy. I don't think they would like that would ever happen to them. Like, I'm one of them. They're going to have loyalists that will never buy an Xbox, no matter what.
Oh, 100% there's going to be loyalists. But I'm saying that.
So with that said, that's why I don't think it'll happen.
No, I don't think you're. See, sometimes bringing up topics is difficult because I understand what you're talking about, and maybe I'm not articulating it correctly, and that's 100% possible. But what I'm saying is that Xbox right now is being seen as a hero, and as much as I do support their pro-consumer choices, I think their actual motive is more evil compared to it because they're sharing so much, and they're seen in such a positive light, they pretty much stranglehold PlayStation, Nintendo. If they share, they're going to lose, and if they don't share, they're going to get negative press on it.
So what are you asking me?
I think what I'm saying is there a way you could see these companies getting out of it, or do you just say they have to write it out until money reserves?
What are they trying to get out of? I guess that's what I'm missing. Like,
so when you're saying what are PlayStation and Nintendo getting out of this, or what is Microsoft getting out of this?
well, I'm trying to also figure out what you're still trying to ask. Like, when you like, I want to talk and answer this, but I guess apparently I'm missing this topic.
I guess hold on. Let me start again. So what I'm saying is right now Xbox is seen as being
Like,
seen as
I understood everything you said. I understood everything you said. I'm just trying to figure out like how I'm supposed to provide a response to what you're saying because like you're talking, I'm doing this. Like, yep, okay. So what? Like,
I said okay. So if you were listening, and I guess this maybe like I said maybe I'm not articulating correctly, but because of Xbox doing this and they have them on a two-way pincer move, how can PlayStation and Nintendo counter Xbox's move on this? Because if they share, I feel like they lose. If they stay reserved, they're still in negative press. How do they reverse that lighting?
But like, I guess what I'm trying to think or figure out is why? Why would they have to make a move to share their IPs?
I'm
Like,
not. I'm not saying.
I mean,
I'm not saying they have to share. I'm saying how would they reverse the consumer view on both these companies? Because
okay, so
right now,
that's the question. Well, okay, so first off, you have to think, do they even care? I personally don't think they give a shit. Otherwise, because it hasn't changed.
mm,
And if they do care, well, then the only way that they would care is allowing their shit to go to other systems, which hasn't happened. So, like, I, I, I don't know. I'm just lost with this one, man. I'm sorry. Like,
yeah, because like I think obviously you're right. They don't care, but I think the way I'm asking is because Xbox has them in a two-way lock. Like look wise, Xbox is looked as a consumer friendly, while PlayStation and Nintendo aren't. But at the
mm-hmm.
same time, like how can PlayStation or Nintendo reverse that narrative to be looked at as still consumer friendly but still holding true to their exclusivity? Because I think Xbox just has them locked on in a complete like stranglehold here, where they can't really get out unless they just ride it out until it goes away. And that's what I'm trying to figure out. Is like Xbox right now was so smart with this generation of marketing that somehow they're able to convince press to be Xbox is the good guys here, everybody else is the
I
bad
mean,
guys.
wasn't it like a week or two that you brought up that it seems like they can't make up their minds over there? Because didn't you bring up a while, not that long ago, that now they were feeling like repercussions that they don't have enough IPs now themselves? So it's almost like they're trying to put this facade that they're the hero, like you have in the topic, that we allow all this to happen, but yet we're gonna cry and bitch and moan that we don't have our own. So now we're gonna complain that we can't get theirs on our account. Like, I don't
No,
know. Like,
they're not.
it just
Xbox isn't complaining that theirs isn't on their system.
well, they're not directly complaining, but by, like you're saying, trying to come out the hero and in people's eyes. Not my eye, I could give a fuck. But like it's like, oh, come on, guys. You know, I gave you $1 last week. Can I get that dollar back? This, like, I don't know. Like,
I guess we should probably move on from this topic because
okay, yeah, I'm sorry, man. I just
that's all right. Maybe I'm just not sharing it correctly, but yeah. So I think yeah, we'll
well
move
here.
on.
Let's stay on it for a moment because you asked me what do I think, but apparently I think you have an answer for that. So what is your answer then?
So for me, in order to change the narrative of Xbox being
Mm-hmm.
the good guys and PlayStation and Nintendo being, just too money hungry, I think
Mm-hmm.
what PlayStation and Nintendo should do is lower their prices on their games. Their first party prices, not their third party. First party prices. Like let's take for example, Nintendo. I love them. They have great games. There's no denying they have great games. But they're too overly priced for what they are. Like $60, and they never go on sale. I feel like obviously every game should get their money, but I feel like if Nintendo wants to be seen as more pro-consumer, they should have a reward system for people that do buy it day one, get something worth it for like the eShop or whatever, leading up to another free game like Xbox does with theirs. Or in a few months' time, they start doing discounts. They don't have to do physical discounts, but like in eShop discounts, because it's first party, lower it by 30%. And they do this often to get people more into their things and eventually maybe do a 2-for-1 bundle where they hand out more stuff. I think if they are able to lower their prices, give consumers more options to buy instead of just being always premium price, I think they'll still let them keep their exclusivity games on their platform, but still be seen as also more consumer friendly as well.
Okay. So if I may piggyback on your assessment there, since I didn't know how to answer myself, so Nintendo with that little aspect about rewards and stuff, theirs does fucking suck. It used to be better, but it got worse over time. But with the games you buy, you still can register them, get these stupid coins, and actually use those coins to take uh, discounts off future purchases. Like that does exist with Nintendo.
But that's only if you buy it through them, though, right?
Correct. I mean, you can't buy them and then get discount on an Xbox game. Come on now.
No, obviously. What I'm saying is that, with Xbox, the reason why I'm saying they're so consumer friendly is that they also have a reward initiative. If you play the game, it doesn't matter if you buy it from them or physical. Anywhere you buy it, if you play the game, you get trophies, whatever, you unlock points. Those points redeem into digital credits where you can buy games. Nintendo, they do have a system, but you can only get these coins if you buy through the eShop or through, I believe, their actual physical shop, which I have never used. But they're basically missing out the huge market of, Walmart, Target, Best Buy, or third-party resellers like GameStop, whatever. It's like if you buy from them, you're screwed. Like you don't get any incentive or reward from that.
You buy from GameStop, you put your game in, and then you go to your menu and you hit a couple buttons and you register and you get your points.
Do you?
I do it all the time. Yeah.
Because from what I remember, I think Alfredo said this too. Not all games give you rewards. Like if you buy retail.
Okay, so that part I can't definitively say. I just know, or I feel at least, I know that every single game I ever put in my system, when you put it up, you go to the options menu. You could go to the options to close the game because games don't close by themselves anymore. You have to close it yourself. It's like that same menu. You toggle down and it says register your game. You click on it. As long as your account is linked, it adds that point value to your points.
I want to look at it again because for some reason...
I feel like I've been able to do it for every single one of my games.
Well, was it first party or third party?
I think both, man.
Because maybe I could be wrong. Maybe I'm 100% wrong on this. But for some reason, I from what I'm remembering is that third parties never were included in that incentive for the coins.
Like the shop stuff, like the indie games, right?
Yeah.
Is what you're saying? Yeah, possibly. But I don't buy many, so I guess I couldn't answer that.
Because I know the first party games, if you buy Mario on the store, you get 70, 120 coins or whatever.
Something like that. Because it replaced. Remember how back in the day you would get little code in the instruction booklets part. Mm-hmm. It pretty much just replaced that because it's all digital now.
Yeah, and I think that's where I'm maybe, like I said, my memory could be false because I don't play many games. I'm usually playing on somebody else's account.
Mm-hmm.
But third-party games, especially if you buy retail, I don't think they count for the codes.
I don't know. All I know is all the games I've put in there, I've been able to redeem some sort of points for it. Now, like I said, I'll admit the reward system sucks and it's gone downhill drastically, but the one thing that is cool and it's not a lot, the conversion factor sucks balls, but you could take those points and hypothetically take $1, $3, $5, $7 off to purchase your next game. Now, PlayStation, not too knowledgeable on that. I remember a time that they did have a reward system that you could redeem your trophies to get.
So they actually didn't have a reward system. They just recently introduced a reward system called PlayStation Stars, and they're currently working on that. But I think they just added the feature maybe a month ago where the trophies are counting for points, 25, but the point equation isn't quite enough.
Well, go ahead, finish. Go ahead, sorry.
So basically, if you buy a game, you get X amount of points. I think it's 100, whatever. So basically, you had to buy 7 or 8 full price games in order to buy one full price game. So it's the amount of money you're spending, you're not getting enough in return. It's it's basically a very little incentive reward. And with the trophies, you would have to play a lot of games in order to get 0.5% off of a $20 game.
So the reward system that I know they had, I want to say maybe going 3 to 4 during 4. I can't remember. I know I said points, but when I meant points, I meant your trophy counted as a point, right? So you have 300 bronze, 200 silver, 50 gold, 5 platinum, whatever the fuck it is. They had it, but it was only a limited time, and it was such a big deal because they had never done it before. But you could auction, per se, your trophies to redeem an item, a physical item. They would mail it to you, it was a bust of maybe the God of War guy. I don't fucking remember. But they had a reward system where you could get cool stuff.
Oh, you're talking about that? Yeah,
Or like
they had that. Yeah.
lithogryphs or something. Yeah, I don't know if they still do, but I know they did. Um, and those things are cool, or I thought it was cool. Like I never had enough trophies to redeem anything.
No, I agree. Those
Those
were cool.
but those incentives, like, I mean, everybody nerds differently. Like, you're talking about an incentive to have it transferred to get money off games, which is equally cool. I'm not denying that. I'm a collector, as you can see. I got random shit. I like the idea of, hey, I got 100 platinum trophies I could change to get this cool fucking 8x10 lithograph. Like, cool beans. Like, let me get that. Like tangible items. I like tangible shit. So, but once again, different strokes for different folks. It's best if you have both, right? Both options. So, yeah, better reward systems is great for, I think, anybody, any consumer. But once again, it all boils down to money. Are they losing money for not having those systems? Right now, I don't think they are. So they don't give a fuck.
I think we're going back to the money part. I'm talking about.
But I always think about money. So.
Well, in the long run, they might lose money because if somebody's seen favorably, people prefer them. But what I'm talking about is view, consumer view. Right now, Xbox is the gold standard for consumer view at this point.
That's an opinion.
Well, it's a fact because you get the most out of Xbox.
I don't think they're the best. So it's an opinion.
No, it's a fact. If you play Xbox and you buy stuff, you are getting a lot more in return compared to playing on PlayStation or Nintendo. You play. Let's say you buy a discounted game on Xbox, even if it's $1. You realistically could play that game for a couple of days, and every time you get a trophy, you can get $4 back.
So now we're talking about money again.
Well, I'm saying that when you buy something from them, you're getting something back in return that's not profitable, but like worth it. When you're playing Nintendo and when you're playing PlayStation, you're not getting a good return back for being a loyalist. You're not. That's why I'm saying Xbox is the gold standard for consumers, because you're actually getting something because of your commitment to that platform.
Okay.
And I feel like in order for PlayStation and Nintendo to change that narrative, they need to be a little bit more. I'm not saying they have to give things away for free. They don't. But I'm saying they need to stop being as stingy as they are to be seen more as a consumer-friendly company. Because I think that's why PlayStation is implementing Stars, and I think that's why they also did PlayStation Plus, because I think they want to give gamers more affordable options and feel like they're rewarded for those options. It still has a long way to go, but I think that's why they're trying so hard now, because they realize that Xbox was doing this for years, and that's why they're currently winning this generation. And I feel like Nintendo, they're still not trying hard enough. But PlayStation is actually trying because they're implementing these new updates, but it still has a lot of work.
Whatever the dilemma is, in my opinion, PlayStation's always going to try, and they're always going to try to replicate each other, while Nintendo's on the side laughing, because that's just the way I always seen it. Like, Nintendo is Nintendo. Like, they don't care what the other two do.
Yeah, okay. I don't think we're really getting, because I'm talking about view. I'm just talking about like public view, and yeah.
No, I'm following you, but just the way you paint it almost seems like the other two are in such a negative light that they're being shit on, and maybe I'm not reading enough and seeing this on social media, and if I'm not, then that's my fault, I guess. But I don't see it.
Well, they're not getting blasted 24/7, but it is a growing mindset around them.
I mean, once again, maybe it needs to get bigger, because I'm not seeing it.
All right.
But
So moving on to Witcher, Blood Origins. I know we talked about this last week, where Witcher was recasting Henry Cavill in season 4 with Liam Hemsworth. But as we were talking about earlier, they are working on multiple projects, and the next project coming out, Witcher Blood Origins, is coming out December 25th on Netflix this year. And supposedly, it only has 4 episodes.
I saw that, which I thought was like what? Like 4-part series. So are they all an hour each only? Like is that even known?
I don't know that for a fact. I didn't read too much into it. All I
Because
know is
that's
it's 4 episodes and when
short
it comes
as
out.
hell. Now,
But
now, did they also say it was like 4 and done, or 4 with maybe more? Like
that
maybe it's like a 4-episode pilot or something.
that I don't know if they actually have an answer to that. I think right now it's just
Okay.
4 confirmed this year. Uh,
Yeah,
but I don't think that this is meant to be a continuous series. I think this is supposed to be a one-off series,
just tell a
adding
story, move on.
adding to the universe. Because
Yeah,
from what I'm getting out of Blood and Origins, is this is going way back in the beginning, from like the creation of the Wild Hunt to the creation of the Witchers with the High Elf and all that stuff. And I feel like this will give better backstory leading up to season 3 and 4 of The Witcher. Because they are going to dive more into the High Elf with Ciri and how to create witches from her blood. And they're also going to talk about the Wild Hunt that's going to be coming in the future as well. And I feel like Blood and Origins, just like when they did the animated version with, was it Night of the Wolf or whatever it's called. I think they're doing all these like little spin-off versions to keep adding to the main series. And I
that'd
think
be
it's kind of
cool.
smart.
Yeah, no, that would be smart indeed. Yeah, I saw the trailer. I noticed the very large elf presence. I was like, okay, that's cool. Noticed the what is it? The obligus? Can't even say that word. The big structure that got
Oh, the
destroyed
obelisk.
by obelisk. There you go. Ding ding. I saw that, but they also showed one that was already destroyed. Um, so yeah, I already started noticing the tie-ins that like you just flat out talked about, which would help with the story for 3 and maybe moving forward. I mean, you could argue it probably would have helped with 2 as well, but that's fine. Um, yeah, like I know I was reading a lot of people like shitting on it, but that's because I think they're still in a negative mindset over the Henry Cavill information, which is a little disheartening. Since it's only 4 episodes, I mean that's gonna be a quick breed. This is just binge, right? Like you get
Yeah.
that done in a quarter of your day. Um, it was a short trailer, so I don't really know much to think about it. I like the idea of more magic because I love magic. So the elves are the ones that taught it to the humans until they took out their race pretty much. So so I'll be looking forward to that aspect of it. A lot more magic.
I was trying to look to see what the other one's called, but yeah, see the choosing of cast here is interesting because obviously I haven't delved too far into the origins of The Witcher. This is completely new to me, but I know in the games it's almost like the way they're structuring the show is almost like a video game because like got these side shows that are like side quests that add to the main story, and that's how they're branching this. But I love how they're showing because what's that actress's name? She played in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. She's also in Everything Everywhere All at Once. The Asian actress. She's great. Can't remember her name, but I wonder how she's gonna act as an elf because I think, like you're saying, there's obelisks in the trailer, right? And we do know that originally when The Witchers happened, especially with season 2 of The Witcher, um, these guys might actually lock demons in that alternate dimension, and I wonder if that high elf is going to play that bridge factor between these multiple dimensions they have in the Witcher universe.
So you're thinking that she might actually resume a role in the regular show?
I think she might be the one that. So I'm trying to remember correctly because this is a while ago. So you remember in season 2 of The Witcher, right? When they were dealing with when Yennefer was dealing with the witch, and they were
Mm,
and the witch was saying, how it was trying to corrupt Yennefer to get her powers back, but really she was trying to rip a hole in the dimension so she can get back to her own home. But
okay.
but she said the reason why she was locked there was because of the original Witchers that happened a couple 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago.
Hmm.
I have a feeling that this is why they're making Blood and Origins is because the high elf we're seeing is the reason the high elf is the reason why these dimensions got locked by the obelisk. Because the obelisks just act as key to like a key to open a gateway between these dimensions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that'd make sense. That'd be cool. Be a cool tie-in.
But what are you hoping to like see out of this?
Magic.
That's it, just magic.
I want to see all the elves run out of mana.
I'm trying to think of what the other dimension is, the one where the demons come from, because I want to see more of that. Because there's not a lot really seen from that besides the video games. I want to see their dimension. And I was also looking. It's called Witcher Nightmare of the Wolf. So they are creating sub-story stats to the main one, but it's like Witcher Nightmare of the Wolf, and it seems like Blood and Origins might show more monsters in the main series, which is making me excited for.
Yeah, that'd be. I mean, yeah, sign me up for all that shit. More monsters, more magic. The environments of that trailer seem very empty, though. But if they fill it up with more CGI and monsters and magic, then I mean, I think it might be an equal trade-off.
Yeah, that's weird because I wonder if they're purposely keeping it like close to their chest, because what you see is very vague. Like we've seen them in the desert, we see them fight what was in the water, like a rainforest area. Like there was only like a few areas, but it was just more of them traveling, like almost like the Hobbit. And I wonder if
Yeah, it really was. It really was.
and I wonder if that's what the show's going to be about, or if it's going to be more about like the universe structure of their world. Which I'm hoping it's not about the Hobbit, because if so, I think it might fail for them.
Yeah, let's hope not that. I think everything that you painted or theorized, like it just sounds so logical. Like now I almost feel like I'd be disappointed if that doesn't happen, because like it just makes sense. It makes all the sense in the world. But yeah, because I mean, if it's only 4 episodes, I mean, what are you really looking to achieve other than to just assist your main show? You know what I'm saying? Like there was, I think, were they all elves in the trailer? I want to say almost, if not all of them, maybe minus one or two. But like, you know, they could go for more greater than, like I said, with the whole um pretty much just wiping out of all the elves. I mean, I don't think we're going to get that in this, because it would be pretty dumb to do that all in like one episode.
So
Like that's kind of like it deserves a build up, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
So now that you mention it, because I think there's only like 2 elves, and the rest are mostly humans.
Really? I thought that I was really looking at theirs. I'm like, damn, they're like all elves.
I mean, you could be right. I wasn't really looking too much, but I know that the Asian actress is definitely an elf. But I think when like we do know that the destructions of the high elves from the demons and all that stuff and the humans happened, but I think that Blood and Origins takes place after their destruction. I think these are the last remaining high elves.
Mm.
And I think
Okay.
I think Blood and Origins isn't about the Night Elf's end; it's the witch's creation. Because in order to create a Witcher, you need a high elf blood with a certain flower. Because the blood of a high elf goes on the ground and flowers from that blossom, creating the whatever potion elixir to create the Witchers and their power. And I think that's the reason why it says Blood Origins, because the Witchers need blood.
Yeah. I mean, now that even makes more sense.
But it'd be weird to do that. I feel like there has to be a little bit more, because at the same time, obviously, we're tying in with season 2 to 3, because Ciri is now learning that she's part high elf. But then the other show that they have, Nightmare of the Wolf, basically covers the same thing. The height of the Witchers being plentiful to them collapsing to being very few that we see in the main show now.
So then this really kind of I mean, not that they get plentiful right away, but this starts it. So it would be easier would you pitched as well, it would be easier to tell a story with the elf race already pretty much disseminated or whatever. Because that story's already been told, right? We just won't get to see it. But if there's a few last remaining, because like one of them Could one of them be series?
Oh, it's definitely one of series descendants or ancestors for
Correct.
sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, I don't know how many generations back it would go, but I mean, because they did show the one with the white hair, and I think she was also screaming, and had pointy ears. um, yeah, I mean, it all sounds good. I mean, but 4 episodes. That's I
I
remember when I read that too. I was like, what? Like, so
I
I
have a
mean,
feeling that these aren't just going to be hour episodes. I think they might be close to like an
I
hour
hope.
30, hour 40.
Yeah, I would say hopefully they are 90. I mean, then it's definitely more justifiable. Because wait, Witcher episodes were they only 30 or were they hour?
They were anywhere between like 40 to an hour.
Okay.
I think the last one was like maybe like an hour 20, hour 10, but they weren't really long.
Yeah.
And I think Witcher also deals with the same issues that like Lord of the Rings has. Is that well? I'm sorry, not Lord of the Rings. Game of Thrones has, because the stories were not made linear; they were made broken. Because like obviously you had the main thing with Geralt and I keep forgetting the guy that played Nightmare of the Wolf. He started Vesemir. Vesemir started Geralt, and then Geralt's journey was Ciri, and Ciri basically taken on after Geralt. That's the actual main story. But because of that, the person that created it, obviously decided to write backstory, future story, side stories. And I think that's why a lot of confusion with the Witcher story, just like House of the Dragon, is that it's all not linear and you got to piece it together yourself.
Well, yeah, I mean, when I first watched season one of Witcher, and it took me a moment to obviously then put that together as well. It's like, oh, especially at the end, it's like two different starting points. Did one of those things. I was like, oh, that's cool. But it definitely does make the storytelling confusing when it probably didn't need to be done that way. Maybe, I don't know, depends. Uh, I don't think I don't think House of Dragon had or Game of Thrones had that issue though, in my opinion.
Well, so I think the reason why I say Game of Thrones is because I feel like Game of Thrones could have started with Aegon's conquest and then gradually led up to Game of Thrones. But they started with Game of Thrones, which wasn't finished, and that's why we're getting the broken story.
Mm, I
But
guess in that regard, yeah.
I wonder how viewers are gonna see this, because like there is a lot of story in The Witcher, and because they have to have so much side shows to fill in for the main Witcher series for people to actually get included on this, because the
Hmm.
main Witcher show doesn't really give you a lot going leading to the Wild Hunt. It'll leave you with more clues and answers. And I think that's why Netflix is trying so hard to create these side shows to make sure they answer these things. But I think
Mm,
because of that, they might put themselves in a bind, because it takes a lot of time and effort and money to create these Witcher shows.
yeah. I don't know what the budget is, but they look good.
Yeah.
At
But
least
I'm
for my dollar, they look good.
but I'm looking forward to. I hope it's basically the establishment of the pillars. Obviously, we know it's gonna be the creation of the Witchers. I just hope it's not like a journey like The Hobbit, but we'll see. And
I hope not. Although it did, like you joked, and I did think that as well. Like it kind of gave that vibe, but yeah, I don't think they have time to do a journey in 4 episodes.
but going on from obviously Witcher coming out this year, 2022 has been a stacked lineup of entertainment. Obviously, I know you're very selective on what you watch, but as a consumer of media, it's been like I'm like obviously the pandemic, a lot of bad things happened during it, but in a weird way, because things were paused, a lot of people were really able to sit back and think about what they wanted to do, and because of that, 2022 was given a cluster of fantastic projects. Like for example, the same actress that's in Witcher Blood and Origins was also in a movie this year called Everything Everywhere All at Once, which sounds like a very confusing and stupid title, but was actually a good multiversal movie. But the real story about it was more about a mother-daughter relationship that needed to have closure. But that was a great movie. Then you had Bullet Train, which was a great movie. I actually have there's a lot of them. Obviously, there'll be a lot of stuff from Disney too, but like Bullet Train, Lord of the Rings, in my opinion. Obviously, some people don't like it. House of the Dragons came out this year as well. Stranger Things, Doctor Strange, Spider Man. Even though that came out in 2019, it still aired in 2020. She-Hulk, Andor, Kenobi, Sandman from Netflix, The Northman. You probably haven't seen The Northman, but
I haven't, but I did want to actually watch that.
if you have Amazon Prime, it's actually on Amazon Prime right now.
Wait, is that the movie or TV show? I thought that was a movie.
The movie, yeah,
Yeah, movie, right? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
The
yeah.
Northman is on Amazon Prime, which is great. I love that.
Has what's her name in it, right?
Bill or something Skarsgård, and then the blonde girl,
It has a well-known name actress in it.
Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, Nicole Kidman's in there, right? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
obviously Witcher, and then if you like short stories, this was also a great year for short stories. Like uh, Guillermo Guillermo del Toro made a show called Cabinet of Curiosities, which is a bunch of miniseries that are kind of based around horror. Great stuff there. But it's like there's so many great things. Top Gun Maverick, possibly my movie of the year. It's like there's 2020 was just packed full of great things to watch, like from shows to movies. And I don't think I've ever seen a
Um,
stacked lineup since. Or and also
um,
Avatar's coming out too.
yeah, I mean, to your point with COVID, I mean, everything did get pushed back. Um, Best year, meh. But like you said, you already said I'm very selective, so I know that. And then entertainment. I mean, I know you named all TV shows and movies, but I mean, entertainment is much more broad than that. I mean, once again, you talk about the video game industry, and just even sports. I mean, sports is still entertainment. Let's be real. Um, like I don't know, like even just a. I mean, you named a lot, and I'm trying to see what else I could like tap on that you missed, but and I'm sure there is a list, and then depending what you consumed. Uh,
There's a lot of A24 movies like I wanted to say, but like there's too many things to name. Like A24 is a studio that I believe also made Everything Everywhere All at Once, and they are just whoever's leading their directive studio, they're like whoever has their production studio is hiring the best directors because they're all unique stories and they're all fantastic. I don't think I've ever seen one bad A24 movie this year.
yeah, I'm just trying to think of what I even consumed this year, and I'm just freaking falling flat here.
Well, you watched House of the
Because
Dragons.
well, yeah, I know, and that was that. Dare I say it was one of the big things I was looking forward to this year, and I'm trying to think of other things because, like you said, I'm very selective.
Westworld was
Um,
also one of them this year. Oh,
but
you didn't watch Westworld.
yeah, 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 exactly. Uh, yeah, I don't know, man. Like I feel um I know I'm missing out on a lot of good TV, right? Like I know Stranger Things is obviously very huge, but I already committed to myself that I'll watch it one day, but when after what 2024 or 25 is over when they did done with season 5, like maybe I should watch it now, at least binge the first four and or whatever. In all honesty, I'm not, I don't know if I'm even gonna like it, but I want to give it a try because it is so popular, right? Like I don't even know if I'm going to like it, so maybe I should just try watching the first season, see if I do. But um, but like that's different to like when I first got involved with Game of Thrones because I knew I was gonna like it. I just said I'll get to it. Same thing with like Lord of the Rings. I know I will like it. I just haven't got to it. I'm trying to think what else you named there that was on my list. Like you did mention Northman. I did want to see that. Still haven't got to it. Um, I've been wanting to see. Did Jurassic World come out this year? It did come out this year, right?
Dominion, yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't watch Dominion
It's,
though.
I still haven't seen that one, and I still definitely want to watch that one. The Ghostbusters didn't that come out this year?
If it didn't come out this year, it
Afterlife.
came out really late last year. But
Yeah.
we can count it this year too because Spider-Man came out in 2019, but kept premiering in 2020 or 2022 and then released in 2022 as like
Yes.
physical. So we can count it.
So yeah. So like Ghostbusters was another one that was on. That's still on my list. I haven't seen yet, and
That was actually pretty good
both.
too.
Yeah, I've heard like nothing but positive things about it. What else, man? Trying to think of what else maybe was meh.
But I think what I'm trying to say is like, while you're thinking, I can't. I mean, there's a few moments in my life that I can think of a stacked list like this year. Like, I think maybe 2004 had a stacked list, or was it 2003? I think it was 2003. When Matrix, Black Pearl came out, um, Shrek. The, like, obviously, it doesn't have to be like big things, but like 2003 might have been a good stacked year, but I don't think it had as many huge titles like 2020 has. I think 2020 has the biggest lineup of big, critically acclaimed movies and shows that have been released in one year. Because I can't think of anything else. I could be wrong because there's probably bigger media buffs than I am. But so far, like this was an excellent year, and I think this year is only big because we had a 3 year pause break for creation, and I think that's the
Correct.
only reason why this year was so stacked.
And I think because of that reasoning, I mean, I think I haven't looked on what's on the lineup for next year, but I think it's only going to continue to get better because everything did get delayed. Um, Hopefully, those days are gone,
Yeah,
but
it.
yeah, I mean, even the Mario movie was supposed to be this year, but unfortunately, it's next year now. Yeah, what did I even go to the theaters to see this year? Fuck, I don't even remember anymore.
Well, while you're still thinking, like
Yeah.
obviously, I just named live action stuff like mainstream stuff, but like anime also had a fantastic year as well. Like obviously, I know you don't care, you don't watch, but like they had Chainsaw Man, The Return of Bleach, Demon Slayer. They had Attack on Titan. They had so many like everything, every avenue of entertainment had such a massive year. Like even sports had a massive year. Like what was it? Stephen Curry had one of the best shooting games of all time this year. Like there was I can't think of a single dull moment in entertainment this year at all. Like everything, something was always popping off. I know
I
you're
mean,
very
there is
selective.
always something popping off for sure. Like, there's no and if buts about that. And that's whether that whatever's popping off is consumed by everybody. That's a different story. Um, but
Well, nothing's consumed by everybody, but by
no, no, exactly.
populace.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I don't know. It's just like one of those things. Like, I would like to see figures. I know. There you go, Steve, talking about money again.
well,
but,
these
but
all these
seriously,
I
but that
named
but that
are
but that answers a lot of those things. Like, what truly is a big year or best year for entertainment.
well. If we're talking about money, this is the biggest year. Like
Is
Spider
it
Man
okay?
is like the sixth biggest all time growing movie of all time, and
Okay.
then Doctor Strange shortly followed. Wakanda's
How,
following it. Avatar
however,
is definitely gonna follow it.
even those figures though, like because of inflation, yes, as
Matrix.
we
I forgot about the
as
Matrix.
as we keep going through time, especially movies, yes, they do make more money because the price of a ticket is more than it was 10, 15 years ago. Like, I think they always do the comparison to, I want to say it's Titanic. Like, if you inflate the dollar value of how many tickets were sold for Titanic versus what movies are doing today, like it barely holds water. Um, but once again, that's something I would have to go back and research. I'm just using that as an example. Um, but yeah, like as far as television shows, like there's been good fucking TV for a while now.
But that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying there hasn't been. I'm saying has there ever been a year as stacked as this year?
Well, I'll say, and that's what I kind of want to get to. Like that just that line itself. I mean, that's a very opinion oriented answer because
I want to say this is
that
opinion because everything I list has been so critically acclaimed that it's not just my opinion. It's a lot of people's opinion.
no, I'm not saying it's not just your opinion. It's not just my opinion. I'm just saying it is an opinion thing, though. Is that okay? A show like well, House Dragons like can be consumed by so many people. It broke records, right? That doesn't mean everybody liked it, but yes, the facts are there that it was consumed, right?
Okay, we're not talking
Does
about
that
individual people.
does
Let's
that?
talk about populace level.
Okay, so what do you want to? Which one do you want to talk about then?
I'm saying overall popularity wise. I mean, can you think of a year that's been more popular than this year with everything that's been shown?
I can't.
Okay. Now, what's the other thing you want to argue? Because it seems like you want to argue that it's not, but I don't see what point you can bring that's not a big year.
I can't argue because I don't have another year to pull out of my ass to argue with, first and foremost. Like, I would have to sit here and create like a spreadsheet, be like, okay, here's everything that came out this year. Now, what's another good year that I could say, that was a better year? I can't do that right now. Like, you want to talk about sports, for example. And this would only be my argument, but I'd go back to 2016 when the Cubs won the World Series. But that's a biased opinion. However, that was arguably one of the most entertaining World Series of all time.
For a Cubs fan.
Well, no, but once again, I said that, preface it, biased opinion Cubs fan, but arguably, if you ask a lot of sports fans, they'll tell you watching that World Series is arguably one of the best World Series to watch because of going to Game 7, everything that happened, yada, yada, yada. Anyways, going to get off that topic. But
no, I could agree because
depending what that form of entertainment is, a different year might be different. Now, if you want to collaborate at all, like I said, it's hard for me to make that determination right now because I just don't. I can't think of another year, but it also wasn't this year. I can't think of a year where I was so ecstatic and I had things lined up that I needed to go to the movie theater, whatever, May, June, August, October for this, and I have to be in my living room February, July, November for these TV. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't articulate.
So House of Dragon didn't do that for you?
No, House of Dragons did do it for it. But what I'm saying is collectively, like you said, year, right? 2022 year, not just one TV show. I can't think of another year to combat that I could say, you know what, 2014 was definitely better than 2020.
Okay, so you're saying for you personally, you can't think of a year, but you
or figuratively, because I mean, I know you just said that this year has, I guess, grossed or whatever, or favorably by reviews has been the best. Maybe it has. I wouldn't agree with it.
Okay, because I know for like sports wise, this also was going to be another great.
I don't agree with it because my life sucks and I'm boring. That's why. Because I don't watch a lot of TV and I don't watch a lot of movies. That's my problem.
No, that's not a problem. I'm just saying, like, obviously I'm just bringing up a topic because like there's a lot of things I didn't name that still broke records. Like, for example, I don't watch The Rookie, but it's doing really well right now.
Which one?
The Rookie. It's a cop show.
Never even heard of it. Yeah, never even heard of it.
Yeah, like there's a lot of things that are like breaking huge records that I don't watch. Like just because you don't watch it doesn't mean your life is boring. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying like as the overall generalist, look at things, it's been pretty good. But also like if you want to say sports, I think this year might also be one of the biggest years for sports, or not sports, but for like at least soccer if you want to individualize it. Like soccer. This year is going to be Messi's last year for soccer or for the World Cup. This might be, and then you also have Neymar going at this too. Like, this is going to be a fantastic year for soccer because you're not going to see two giants unless you want to go to like Cristiano, unless you want to go to like Ronaldo, but you're not going to see another time like this like for soccer. Like this is like right now in soccer is the same time as like for us in the Bulls in like 93 to 96. Mm-hmm. But I guess if you want to individualize it, what was your favorite year of entertainment? Because I know you.
Well, I just answered that without giving an answer because I don't know.
So okay, we'll go with baseball. So 2016 was your most exciting year because of Cubs win the World Series after 100-something years, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, because I can't think for baseball. Obviously, I'm not a baseball fan. For me, maybe it'll be like the World Series in 2005 for the Sox, only because that was one I got to go to. But
and rightfully so.
But if I was, I guess if we're saying individual. But this question I only want to say because like, overview wise, it just seemed like a stacked year for everybody. Like the overall population. I know you're very selective, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't want to make it seem like I'm attacking your personal preference here because I'm not. I'm just saying.
No, I don't feel like my personal preference is being attacked. I just like. You say like this is like the topic says is the best, and I guess I'm just questioning. Well, was it really? I don't know. Maybe you may have figures that support that, and if there's figures that support it, then that's fucking great because that's good for the industry. That's good for entertainment. But is it really? I don't know. I mean, people that are like Star Wars fans, there was probably Star Wars stuff that did come out this year anyway.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of stuff like Kenobi,
yeah, exactly.
Andor. There's
exactly. But like the main episodes, like some Star Wars fans would be like, no, that was the best year. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't say that, but they probably will. And that's what I mean by it being opinionated, because everybody has the things that they look forward to the most, right? Marvel movies. There's Marvel movies every fucking year. This year, 100%. Or to your point, you got the benefit because it was the year the next Spider-Man one came out, and Spider-Man is more popular than all the other ones. So that one may, support the whole, no, this was the best year for entertainment because you got Spider-Man this year. Those are the things that, like, I guess I think or look about when it comes to big blockbuster year. I mean, you used a great example with Top Gun. Not my cup of tea, but did it fucking break and murder sales? Fucking yes, it did. I'll never watch it. But it did fucking well. Actually blows my mind a little bit. I think from afar it looks boring. But anyways, that's just my opinion. But it did well, to your point. It helped the year 2022. And that's what I'm trying to think. Like, okay, what can I use to combat Top Gun? Like, what movie from what year, and then support it going that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So
I just can't do. I just can't do that right.
I guess if you want to say it, like 2009, the biggest movie of all time, Avatar.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason why I'm saying this is the year because Avatar 2 is coming out this year.
And that's a good way to support it, though. But has it done it yet? No. But is it projected to? Probably, right?
Yeah.
So, like, no, that makes perfect sense. And I guess that's the kind of, what I'm trying to think to support another year. But I can't think of anything.
Yeah, if we want to say, like, the biggest all-time grossing movie, 2009 would 100% be the biggest year because freaking Avatar got $2.1 billion worldwide. That's a lot of money for one movie. Will Avatar 2 do it? Historically, sequels don't do as well as the original, so maybe not. But it'll probably gross a decent amount of money. Let's see if it'll beat Endgame, though.
I think also to support, like, best year of entertainment, though, to be honest, now that I think about it a little bit more, is like the growing amount of different streaming services that you have, right? Like, yeah, there might be more that come like next year and the years to come, but like this year really had them blossom more than they did, in my opinion. I mean, there's just so many of them, and I think we talked about on other podcasts where they're having their own TV shows, right? Their own. We always talk about IPs and whatever, but like they're making their own movie shows and all that stuff. So that helps drill that 2022 being the best year for entertainment, like, hands down. So like those are just other things like to help support those type of acknowledgments, I guess, per se.
I guess leading into this, because this is also adding on to the big year, Pokemon arguably is pretty big right now because obviously we've got Scarlet and Violet coming out next week, but also this week, big headline from today is
big headline from today.
No, it is an actual.
No. I'm not saying it like tongue in cheek. Like, it was all over my fucking feed. Like, as if I didn't even ask for it. Like, it was so bizarre, but also made me smile. But
so like, in Shibuya, Japan, basically like an equivalent of Japanese Times Square, they had the actual airing of Pokemon on their billboards, TVs, etc. for Ash versus Leon in the what do they call it? Is the World Cup, Elite Four, whatever?
I don't know if they do it like the Elite Four anymore because unfortunately I don't watch it. Kind of makes me feel a little bit bad that I've been following his whole journey, but yeah, it was the grand champion fight, I guess, is one way of calling it.
Oh, I thought you were gonna add on to that. Sorry.
Oh no! I did. I saw you cough, but I was like, no, but yeah. So like, I was just gonna piggyback what you were. I didn't think you finished about the equivalent of Japanese Times Square and how cool it was that they and it also screams the popularity of Pokemon, especially over there, that they actually aired it
And people
on pretty
actually,
much all their TV screens, and it was like, elbow to elbow. It's just like,
yeah,
to me, it's cool, but also a little bit bizarre because like it's just, yeah, it's so cool though.
yeah. But it's not like they just aired it on their TVs. People were actually watching it in the Shibuya Square.
Yeah,
Like that's the difference, is that people were watching it, not just passing it by. They were watching Ash beat Leon.
yeah, it's just it's surreal. It's so surreal. I know, like I said, it was all over my feed. I texted it to my, several text chain groups and stuff because it is news. As silly as it sounds, it's news. Like, what is it? 25 years?
So,
The 10-year-old boy took 25 years to become a grand champion or
well,
whatever.
see, this is where this. So maybe you could fill in because I haven't really watched the anime, but
Mhm.
obviously, what's this one Pokemon Journey? Is that what this new series is called?
I'll be honest with you, dude. I sadly I don't know. Like I said, I haven't watched it in eons. Like, I watched it, I would say, religiously when it first came out, up until I remember vaguely like Orange Island. So that's probably like maybe the
Oh, Orange Island.
third.
That's OG Kanto, like 97, 98.
Is it Kanto?
Orange
I thought
Island,
it was like maybe. I thought it was maybe like after Johto.
maybe. They had multiple
See,
islands.
that just shows my memory and how much it sucks. Nonetheless, I remember Kanto, I remember Johto, and I remember Orange Island stuff. I think Sinnoh, I guess, and Hoenn and all that stuff is definitely where I fell off.
I think you and I
But
fell off at the same time with the show.
but I think both of us could agree on this. We have an idea because we still play the games, and they Ash doesn't exist in the, well, actually that's not entirely true either. But they don't go hand in hand, but they kind of do because it's whatever generation the game is, that's the generation the anime is. So like in that regard, like I kind of know a little bit, but not like to a T. Um, as to what I think, go ahead and ask that question that I might have interrupted you with.
So well, we both have vague information since we don't follow the show like that.
Mhm.
But I know, so the tagline I've seen from everybody, because I know you shared it first, and then I was looking at it, is that it says Ash Ketchum becomes world's best trainer, whatever. But
Mhm.
that's a lie, because
Oh yeah, that would be a lie.
this is only for the Galar region.
I would agree with that assessment.
Because there's also, I'm not sure if you remember, but I remember this also blowing up too.
Mhm.
One Sun and Moon series, the animated version, that part blew up because that was the first time Ash has ever become an Elite Four champion, was in Sun and Moon. So it seems like before,
Okay.
instead of winning the Elite Four, it seems like the last two show adaptations, he's now becoming champion in those shows.
Yeah, yeah, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
But the weird thing though is that when
But you're
Ash
right.
when Ash won the Alolan version, they didn't call him the best trainer ever. They just call
No.
him the uh, Elite Four champion, or
Mhm.
whatever they dubbed it then. But this
Mhm.
one, they're calling him the best trainer in the world. Like he's conquered, Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, whatever champions at
Which
the same time, which he didn't do.
no, which he didn't do. So I mean, the only thing I could say in not really disputing that, because that's true. That is 100% fact. The only thing I could say to like, not to disregard that statement, but like these are the first times he's won it all, because he's always failed, right? He has a history of failing.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that you're you're finally seeing the underdog win, I think is just really what it's about. Like, everything you're saying is 100% correct. And if you want to talk like, facts, like those are facts. But I think it's just the whole story that, this kid has
The best in the
always
Galar
lost.
region.
And the best part is probably overstating it.
More like
But
a clickbait
it's
title.
just, it's just cool that, hey, he finally won the big fight, right? Like, I guess I kind of think about it, since I'm also a wrestling fan. You're always rooting for that underdog that's getting his ass kicked, and then he finally wins that title, and it's like, damn it, he finally did it. Is he the best wrestler in the world? No, but he has the title, so that's fucking awesome.
So because of this, like I said, I haven't watched Pokemon at all in a long time. But I did
So
watch
you
this,
really
huh?
okay? Go ahead. I'm sorry. No, no, I didn't mean to. Go ahead. Keep going.
But because of this, I actually did watch this final episode. Because in
Okay.
Japanese, I don't think it was translated to American yet.
No, no, it has
Um,
not. Which that was another thing that internet was upset about. But
but
how are you gonna hide that?
Jesse and James look so much different. Well, obviously, animation definitely changed in Sun and Moon, but they almost don't look like villains anymore. They almost look like supporting characters for Ash because they were in the crowd
Yeah,
cheering for him.
yeah, yeah, kind of. But that's not the first time that's happened. That's happened in the movies all the time.
Where they support Ash.
Yeah, kind of.
I guess
Because
maybe
if
Mewtwo.
Ash doesn't stop them, then they know they're fucked.
Yeah. Well, you know, you're right. You're right. Because the last time I can remember Team Rocket actually helping out in a movie. Well, also I didn't watch all the movies. I watched from like
Same.
Mewtwo to like 2000, whatever, or Pokemon Forever with Celebi.
Now, I have watched more movies, but I know I haven't watched all of them. Matter of fact, I was trying to keep up and buy them all, especially if they came with a promo card. But but I have missed quite a few of them. Like
Because
I think the last one they had the one in theaters that I went to go
oh,
see.
Pokemon Forever or whatever it's called, the
Did
one
we
with.
go together for that?
Well, we went to the one for Detective Pikachu, but the one Pokemon Forever where they remade the original story, we went
Correct.
separate.
Okay, okay. But I did go see that one, which I still liked. But that might have been the last anime movie I saw.
Okay. Because like the only one I get, well, obviously, like I said, very vague because I didn't watch all of them. But to your point, you're right. Team Rocket did help out a couple times, like with Mewtwo. Was it Mewtwo Strikes Back? What was the one with Mewtwo on the island and all the trainers went there?
Yeah, that was the very first one. That was just Pokemon the movie, no?
Yeah, yeah, Pokemon the movie because that's where uh, Jesse and James were there, and then Meowth was doing the whole talk because Mewtwo was like being elitist, and Meowth was
You-
like, "No, we need humans too. We have to live
Yeah.
harmoniously together." So
Mhm.
I guess that's where they would have been a supporting character as well instead of just a
Mhm.
villain.
Mhm.
But it was just weird.
But like
It was weird seeing them cheer in the crowd for Ash. Like they were really excited for him to get the win.
and but like I don't even really think they were cheering though. They were just spectators.
Well, they were spectators, but when Ash won, they were cheering.
Okay, I'll have to rewatch it. I thought maybe they gave him more like a golf clap, but
Well,
I
that's
know Leon gave him a very hard golf clap. um, no, I thought it was really cool. Even though like I missed probably like 60% of all Pokemon cartoons now. Um, it was nostalgic to watch, and even though missed so much, it's like I felt like I didn't miss anything. As crazy as it sounds, especially the way they packaged it. And spoilers, if guess we didn't say any of that, but like especially because you watched the whole fight, right? Like the whole 10 minutes of it or whatever.
hmm
Okay, so
Pikachu is still OP as ever. I'm convinced that Pikachu is at level 100, while everybody else is like level 80. Cause
he's like level 101 at this point.
yeah,
But yeah, that whole thing where like he got knocked out, and then he had every generation of like Ash's Pokemon, which was really cool because it got me up to speed like so quickly. It's like, oh, those are Ash's Pokemon from that generation. I didn't know that. Those are the Pokemon from that generation. I didn't know that. So like I thought that was super cool. And then to that same level of direction, they did it with all the different characters, right? Like they showed the Misty, the Brock, and et cetera, because I don't know them all, but I know some of them a little bit from um, either the movie or they did start adapting video game characters in their shows.
yes, they have red and blue in there now.
Yeah, so all that was just really cool to see, and I thought it was done pretty well. Not to mention like the animation itself got better. I thought there was a one period of time where I thought the animation kind of went backwards a little bit, but I don't
That's
remember.
when Sun and Moon happened.
Was it Sun and Moon?
Yeah, because they went
So
from
I
like
think
the
a lot of people were
normal.
experienced with that.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I definitely still don't like. Well, it's not the animation; it's the art style. I think that's the difference.
yeah. Well,
Because the
it's the
animation
same
has
thing.
always been no
Oh,
art
okay.
style is just like the way they look. Animation is like the
Movement.
movement and all that stuff. The animation has
Gotcha.
always been good. It's the art style that changed in Sun and Moon.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm with you. I'm following you. Yeah.
But
Well, I agree.
because like I was upset with the Sun and Moon, but obviously my opinion doesn't really matter because I didn't watch Sun and Moon, but I also didn't watch the ones before that either. So a hardcore opinion is more appreciated here. But
Mhm.
it seems like the people that did dislike the art style change for Sun and Moon, and also same thing with Pokemon Journey, they are growing on it now,
Mm.
which is
So wait, the
interesting.
one. So I thought the art style, at least when I watched, I thought they, to me, I thought they might have changed it again because.
They did slight
Okay, so
variations.
I'm not going crazy. Okay, yeah, I thought it was done pretty well. So
Do you,
I think whenever it does get converted to English, where did it even air it anymore? Do they have like their own Pokemon channel now or
they
something?
do have a Pokemon channel, yes, and usually translations happen a day afterwards because like I watch anime.
Really,
Um,
just a day?
yeah, they're really quick with
Oh,
translating.
oh, I'm sorry, not translation. I mean the
Oh,
actual
like dubbing?
English dub. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I worded that
that
incorrect.
I have no idea. I think that's
Like
whenever they feel
months.
like it.
I know the chick that voices Ash tweeted about it, uh, and just pretty much said, can't wait till you guys hear that version. So hopefully, maybe it's like a quick month or two turnaround. Because I'd like to watch it in English too,
Oh yeah,
even though
definitely.
it was super cool to see.
So
But yeah, sounds cool.
do you think it's going to be the trend going forward? Because like obviously with the last generation,
And,
Sun and Moon, he won the Elite Four, and obviously
mhm.
in the Galar region, he won the championship as well. Do you think instead of him going on a losing streak, he's going to go on a winning streak now and become the champion of the world?
It kind of makes sense. But let me. I mean, I'm going to ask you this question, knowing you don't know the answer. But where's Gary been in all this?
So I could actually answer this because
Oh, okay.
I do
You
know.
you researched it? Oh, okay.
So as you remember, not every single adaptation of the show is actually a direct continuation. They have some characters like from Kanto to Johto, that was a continuation because of Misty and Brock, but then after like X and Y, it's almost like they forgot the characters and then re-brought them back. Um, so
Which characters?
so
Not
like,
Ash.
well, obviously Ash has always been the main figure, but
Yeah, yeah.
there was a time where Ash didn't know who Misty and Brock were, and then in
Oh,
Sun
like
and
in the cartoon?
yes,
Oh shit.
and then in X and Y, they realized they had to do a restart, and that's when Sun and Moon re-brought Misty and Brock back as side characters, but they weren't like main friends like they were in the original.
Mm,
And then
interesting.
and Gary has also been replaced. He's no longer Gary. He's now Blue.
Mm, okay.
So they
So
kind of rewrote
R.I.P. Gary Oak. So yeah. Okay.
they
See, I
they
didn't even know all that.
they rewrit some of the characters
Interesting.
because like Misty and Brock no longer share that same like.
Because like, oh, I'm sorry. Go
I was
ahead.
just gonna say they no longer share that like super strong connection like they did from like Kanto to Johto. That is just gone now.
Gotcha. Yeah, because like I didn't know they did all that. I know they did like a lot of quick spin-offs to cover some of those other like semi-major characters and give them like a little mini story. Like I know they started doing things like that, and I watched a couple here and there, but I never like sat down and like indulge on all of them. And I know those, to your point, they would kind of kill that previous relationship that people were known and accustomed with Ash's adventures. So like I know some people thought that was kind of like a turnoff, but I'm like, it's just a little spin-off thing. Like, who the hell cares?
Yeah, a lot of people are
Um,
actually really upset about the whole Gary thing because even though Gary is 100% supposed to be Blue, they
yeah,
rewrit it story wise where Blue is the grandson of Oak. He's just another trainer, while Gary is the
yeah,
grandson of Oak.
yeah. That is kind of dumb. And then to your point, I mean, even growing up, like we knew red and blue. That's Ash and Gary. Like, so yeah, I don't know. That's very
But
interesting.
I do want to see this because with Sun and Moon and um, Pokemon Journeys, I think is what the new one's called. They are now instead of being separate, they're starting to tie the stories back together again. Because like with Sun and Moon, you see Ash go from the Kanto region with his mom and Professor Oak to the Alola region with his mom and then
Mm,
Oak's cousin, which looks like him but just Tanner. And then Pokemon Journeys picks up from that where Ash goes off again, goes back to the Kanto region, and then goes to Galar after that.
mm. Man, it makes me want to like watch them all now.
Well, see, that it's funny that you said it because yesterday I had the same thought because, or no, was it today? Whatever the day was, it was today, right? That's when the thing happened.
Today was when the news broke. Yeah.
So I think this winter I'm actually gonna sit down and watch them because I know that there's a little bit of disconnect, after Sinnoh, but then Sun and Moon brings it all back together. I want to watch the evolution of the show and see how they're gonna come full circle again because somehow they're doing it.
It almost seems a little like mind blowing.
There's a lot to cover.
To like, like that's interesting. That's interesting.
Because like even with
Well,
like the remake of Pokemon, what was it? The remake, the Forever movie.
mhm.
That was the rewritten timeline, bringing
That was
Sun and
supposed
Moon
to be
together.
this reset.
Yeah,
Interesting.
because we all know how Ash and Pikachu got together. It definitely wasn't the way how they did depict in Forever, but obviously there's similarities, but not 100% what happened to
Oh yeah. Like I mean, I didn't know that they made, or I didn't know Forever was, I guess, turned canonly, because I thought it was just like an anniversary one-off reimagining, and that was it. But you're telling me they actually did take it,
That's pretty much the
and
jump start of the news story.
that was wow. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
I know it's confusing,
Very
but that's why I want to watch it because it makes me more interested in the show just to see how they're trying to connect all the previous stories together now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm interested. I think I'm gonna if I can figure it out because I know you said you try to buy most of the movies. I'm gonna see
Yeah.
if I could do that.
I
If
know I'm
not,
missing some, but like I mean, I mean, usually I do buy a lot of dumb shit, but like if they have that Pokemon channel, which probably has them all anyway,
oh,
like
probably. See,
probably just
the
use
problem
that.
though with the Pokemon channel is that it sucks. Well, at least it sucks for America because always buffers. The quality's not good.
Uh, gotcha.
And maybe
Yeah,
it's just me.
that would
Maybe it just doesn't work on Xbox, or maybe it doesn't work on my computer. But it's never been a good experience for me.
interesting. Well, I've never tried it, so I might give it a download and see for myself.
Yeah, I should try it too because like my experience, I'm also talking from like 3 years ago. So they
I was just gonna add that because like connections have gotten better. They always do get better. So.
yeah. So I'm interested. So it seems like I'm gonna watch this fall and want to try catching up on the whole series, even though there's a lot to watch. Are you
Definitely.
gonna catch up on the whole series, or just from current going forward, or are you just gonna say
Like
highlight?
when we're talking, like I'm interested, but how many times I said about anything else we talk about, Josh? So it's like it's just imagine like it would be, dare I say, it would be easier to consume because each episode's like 22 minutes, maybe if that.
Oh, it's super
Um,
quick now.
yeah, super quick. I have to sit down and do some math on
Yeah,
that.
because if you watch
But
it and you don't have any ads, most episodes like anywhere from 15 to 60 minutes.
yeah, um, I would really love to enjoy do a fast forward play to kind of catch up on everything and then to stop like, wait, this looks entertaining. Because I mean, if it's modeled anything like the original shows, like we know there's a lot of fluff per se, right?
Filler.
Um,
Yep.
like like the battles are cool, right? Like just like we got in this episode. But like all the other stuff I could probably deal without. But yeah, no, like I'm definitely interested. It could capture my attention. Maybe that was part of their plan.
Well, I can tell you this: Pokemon has gotten much smarter recently with their marketing. Like before, they didn't end their shows whenever the game ended. It usually carried on a little bit after the other generation. This
Mhm.
one ended a week before a new game comes out. And I bet you the new series, whatever they're going to call it, is going to follow soon after too.
Yeah, no, they probably have a trailer to drop, relatively short here. You're right. They have their whole marketing campaign has gone, and the cards are in the same,
Yeah, because it
almost the same time frame.
didn't they just release a new box like a couple days ago?
Yes, actually they did, but that's still not the final set. The final set is supposed to come in January. So still a little bit off, not exactly,
Close
but
enough.
they're all, but yeah, close enough. But it is the final set for the Sword and Shield generation.
Do you know what it's called?
Crown Zenith. Didn't we talk about
Oh
that?
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
thought we.
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. I thought we.
Just
No,
just
no,
like
no, it's fine. It's fine.
just like certain shows and movies I say it goes through. Just Pokemon cards go through my head. um
Yeah. I told myself I was gonna cut back, but seeing a lot of the art for that set, man, they're gonna lure me right back in.
the culture with the cards, obviously we've talked about that multiple times before, but it always impresses me, like, because I'm close with some of the people at GameStop at some of the stores here, and I talk to them. They say like people like pre-order these boxes like months in advance before they even really go up. They just like put my name down, we're done. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
I what I've been doing, and I didn't do it for the box or the set that came out this week, and I think I missed it on the last set too, because I did when the Go set came out. That was my, I told myself it'd be my last hurrah. And I have been good, with the exception of the box down there, which you can't really see.
Is that open or is that
Uh,
sealed?
Still sealed. Um, but what I was doing prior though was buying one Elite Trainer box
Hmm.
per set, and just say, okay, whatever I get is whatever I get, with the exception of like what was it, Brilliant Stars and Shining Fates, because they also had shiny Pokemon, and it's like shiny Pokemon. Like, why
Is
wouldn't
that
I
the one
want
that
shiny
introduced
Pokemon?
Shiny Mew, or was that a different one?
No, Shiny Mew was in the Celebration set,
Oh,
which I
okay.
still never got.
Because that one looked really cool. Because it had a normal version and a rainbow version, right?
No, gold. It was only one version. It was just a gold card.
Okay. Because I was
Yeah,
like,
it was a gold card.
I remember they put a lot of effort into that card.
Yeah, that card looks fucking sweet. And that card, or that set, also had a subset of reprints, and one of the reprints was a birthday Pikachu card, which I fucking adore, because I never was able to get the original, so I'll take a reprint any day. I love that card.
I'm surprised you haven't formed, because I know you. I'm probably gonna say his name wrong. Is it Des Bryant? Who's the Cubs guy you like?
Oh, Chris Bryant.
Chris Bryant. I don't know why Des popped in my head. I'm surprised you
Des
had.
Bryant's I think that's a football player
Oh,
actually.
is it?
I think so. I
Okay.
think.
Well, they both have Bryant, but I'm surprised you haven't formed a Pikachu collection like you have for Chris Bryant. If I say his name wrong, correct me because I'm gonna say it wrong eventually.
No, you said it right. Pikachu collection.
Yeah, like get like
I
different
think more.
variations and
I
put them
do
on the
have
wall.
I do have a lot of Pikachu cards now, but I think I was really more trying to Charizard collection. But like, who doesn't try to have a
But
Charizard
that
collection?
would be more expensive than the sorry,
Oh,
Charizard would be more expensive than Pikachu because like some of those go for thousands
yeah,
of
no.
dollars.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, some Pikachu ones go very expensive too, actually.
Really? What
Very. Oh, yeah.
what's the highest one?
Oh, fuck that. I can't
Or
answer.
can
I
you give me
mean,
like a
you.
guess estimate?
Oh, easily thousands. Like, there was a couple cards that, a lot of them are usually just Japanese prints, though they never give them English ones, so those are the more valuable ones.
Oh,
But there was ones that they did a crossover where they had Pikachu dressed as Mario on one card, another one dressed as Luigi,
so this is an
and
official card, or is it like
official.
a?
These are official cards. These aren't fake. These are official cards,
Oh, that's really
and
cool.
yeah, and it's just like, I want that card. I don't know what it says on there, but I want it. It just looks stupid cool. There is one I still want to buy, because I forgot what set it's on, but it's a trainer card, and then I think it's just an Ash card, but it's an alternate print and it's a full art, but it's just like basically Ash setting Pikachu like on a desk or something. It just looks really cute, and I want it.
Well, I may be confusing you with Matt, but I believe it was you. Don't you also have a card? Obviously, when I seen it, I thought it was really cute and cool. It was like Pikachu with a bunch of Pichus behind it running in like a field.
I
Uh,
think I might have something like that. I think you might be thinking of what was it called? Because they said they saw the set where it was a bunch of Pikachu's. There wasn't a Pichu on there, but it was a bunch of Pikachu. Oh, I know which card you're talking about now. I think I know which card you're talking
Because it was like a flower field, and they're like running
about. Yeah,
through.
and I think there's three of them on
Yeah,
the card, right? Yeah, yeah, I have that card. I know which one you're
because that one, I mean, even if it's not like a rare card, it still looks really cool. Like
talking about.
if you,
Oh yeah,
I'm actually surprised you don't have your Chris Bryant collection to your right, and then maybe like form a Pokemon sh- uh, shelf on the left to highlight them.
Uh, maybe it might happen. Oh, what I was thinking of doing outside of just a particular Pokemon, like I also really like the rainbow art cards, and I think now I have maybe like 4 or 5 of them. So, including one that's a Charizard.
So since you collect Pokemon cards and I don't, is Rainbow cards only exclusive to Sword and Shield, or were they in the other entries as well?
Oh, it's funny because I didn't know that information myself at one point, and I googled it. I think they did just start kind of recently. They might have started in only in this generation,
Because
and
I,
that's kind of why I want to maybe start collecting them because it was recent. It would still be kind of a hard collection to do because some sets have more rainbow cards than others, and then when you're talking about Charizard rainbows,
yeah,
expensive.
like $10,000
So
expensive.
yeah, so so it would be a hard collection, but I think they would look like amazing. Like,
So, do you think they're gonna cancel the rainbows? Because like obviously, even with my limited knowledge of Pokemon cards, I know they had
mhm.
multiple variations. Like they had the sideways frame cards, they had the X and Y, the Ys, they had there were the ones that had like almost like a full break. Well, I'm obviously using Marvel Snap terms here, but it was like Asian writing on it, but it was like all over the card. Do you think they're gonna
Yeah,
cancel
like
it like that, or do you think they're gonna keep it going forward?
I so the things you're talking about are different. They're like different powers that change up the way the card game is played. Versus the rainbow card is just kind of like a cosmetic change. I mean, it's a rarer card, but it's just a cosmetic change, right? Because that same card is available in a non-rainbow form, right? Versus everything you describe are actually different types of ways that card could be played. Because like we'll use Charizard again, for example. Like they have a regular Charizard card, they got a Charizard V card, and they got a Charizard V Star card. And there's probably ones that I'm missing, like the ones you're talking about. Like they had the break ones that you said were horizontal and stuff like that. So those are the ones that do kind of sometimes get discontinued. Um, but the rainbow one, I don't know what to tell you. I would say I hope it doesn't go away because they just look fucking cool. But I don't know. Maybe they will because with this set that's coming up, I haven't seen a checklist yet. I don't think anybody has. Um, so I don't know if there are rainbow cards in this set. But what they are introducing in this set that's making them very talked about right now is they've always had alternate prints, but now they're having what's kind of being dubbed as super rare art prints. And they're designated on the card that way. And I don't know what the rarity is going to be to obtain said card, but that's what's kind of making it really talked about right now. And pre-orders, I didn't even score an ETB because pre-orders were gone in like a minute, if that.
So adding on to this too, because I know, like you say, sometimes Japan has like these special limited edition cards, like Pikachu with Luigi Mario, which sucks that they. I mean, obviously, I get it. Pokemon was originated in Japan. They, I guess, deserve some exclusivity, but Americans love them too. They should bring them here too. But um, have you collected any of the super special, what are they called, tournament edition or first print editions from like the World Cup, or is it called the World Cup? Whatever they do
Yeah, they
at the.
have Pokemon. Yeah, they have Pokemon World Cups. No. Answer is no. never,
I'm
never,
surprised because
never
I know
have.
you want to go to a couple of them, and I'm surprised you haven't picked up like a card or asked to buy one.
No. The only I kick myself in the ass because I don't have them anymore. Uh, but once upon a time, I think this was still when Red and Blue were out. I think it had to be Red and Blue. Uh, Here in the U.S., they had like a nationwide tourney that was actually endorsed by Nintendo, and I went with a buddy, and first round they fucking put us against each other. But it was only 2 rounds, and I don't know how you got qualified to move any further. But they actually awarded you. It wasn't a real replica Boulder and Cascade badge, but they were Boulder and Cascade badges. And I had them for the longest, but I don't know what the fuck happened to them. And they're probably I don't know if they're worth any money now. But um, But yeah, cards I've never no. I mean, do I desire some of them? Yeah, but I never bought one.
Or spend a bunch of money on buying it.
No, I can't. Dare I say I can't justify spending hundreds of dollars on a single Pokemon card. Like it really has to like probably wow me to a point where it's like, God damn it, I need to have.
Hmm.
I haven't had as much as I like Charizard and I love the different cards that he has or it has. Um, there hasn't been one that's really like, okay, I'm gonna drop whatever $200 on that card. I don't know if it ever will happen. Now, you ask me, will I spend maybe that much on a box set that I really want? Like, I'll use the Celebrations one, for example, because that one comes with a like a gold anniversary Pikachu and Charizard card. They're actually metal cards. And they sell pretty well on eBay actually too. Like I want to get that box, but
Hmm.
I still haven't bought it. Like this one right here was 125, and that's retail. That's not eBay prices.
I
On
should
eBay, that's probably going for like triple.
I should probably put you in contact with my friend's wife because you know Matt. We had him on the podcast.
Mhm.
He stockpiled a whole bunch of Pokemon 25th year anniversary boxes. I think he had over 20 boxes that were not opened. Would you be interested to buy it?
Probably.
Okay, because I could text her and see, hey, do you still have those boxes? If so, I
I mean,
might.
I'm not saying I would. We're still talking about this on the podcast. We should take this offline, Josh.
No, I'm just saying,
But
like,
I mean,
because I was thinking
okay,
about, like,
I would probably like one. I would not buy them all,
okay.
but I would probably buy multiple because my friends would want one. Like
Mhm.
I know they would want one. So yeah, if she needed help.
Yeah, I meant the only reason I brought it up is because obviously, you're a collector, he's a collector, and you know, because things happen, I'm like, maybe I could share something that could add to your collection or one of your friends' collections or somebody else's collections, and help them get some money on the side too.
Yeah, no. Yeah, connect it, or well, we could have discussions. But speaking about Pokemon collections, let me tell you someone else that I'm envious of, and you know of this person as well. But as people have heard on our podcast, we also have a Discord community for Pokemon Go, and there's a particular individual that we also have a channel for cards and the games and all that stuff too. So there's a particular member of our Discord named Snake that has
Yes.
an awe-inspiring Pokemon collection. Like this
He's got
man,
a closet full of binders.
it's not even like he probably has a room of the size that I'm in, probably full of Pokemon cards. Like let's be real. Like this man has a balls to the wall collection that I'm pretty sure if someone were to sit there and articulate everything, it's probably worth a shit ton of money.
Have you been to his house?
I have.
There's a lot of cards. Like he had.
There's a lot. I'm not exaggerating when I'm telling you that your room too. Your room, he probably has full of Pokemon cards.
Yeah, because he doesn't have just binders.
That's
He's
not
got like
exaggeration.
these giant, like gray bins full of cards, and they're
Did
not.
you?
What? Go ahead.
Oh no, you finish first.
I was just gonna say like like it's not like it's all organized. He has them all marked, all labeled, set labeled, and also in order too.
And he has separate binders for his duplicates, right? Like to your point, like
Yes.
he has the one for set, and then he has others for duplicates of said set. And that's what I was just about to talk about because talking like I hate to always attribute everything to money, but as you know, that seems to be a theme with me. But like even the base set, the guy has so many doubles of base cards.
And their first prints too from the original.
Yes, it's just it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like dude has a fucking collection.
That guy. So we talk about Snake. Like he is a member of our Pokemon Discord for Pokemon Go. He is someone that I've actually tried to label myself as a collector, and I know you have done something similar with World of Warcraft. But it seems like whenever he is into something, like he's also into World of Warcraft as well in Blizzard games, he goes all out with his fan, right? Like his fan love. Like if he loves a series, he will buy everything for that series. And I think
Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
yeah, no, he's constantly sharing screenshots every time he opens something, which is cool. I love, and I'm going like living vicariously through everything he opens. Like it's cool. And I mean, shit, I could pull up the phone now and show a bunch of screenshots because that I think like you said, the new set came out this week, so he bought like, um, I think it's called Tempest Keep. I think is the name of it. So he bought a Elite Trainer box of that, and he also bought from Walgreens those mystery packs. Like you might be able to get a pack of like
Oh, for
Team Rocket or
Halloween?
something, or from way back in the day. So yeah, he spends he invests a lot, but
Yes.
his collection is,
Worth it.
I would say, worth that investment.
I just hope he has it insured because like the investment is really really big.
Yeah, hope
Um,
so too.
but yeah, he's a great guy, and I think the reason why we're showing is because he doesn't just collect. He's excited for it too. He has enthusiasm for his collection. Like he doesn't just collect for a money purpose. He collects because he cares about his like he cares about his stuff. Like it's not just there for like a monetary value. He
It's a passion.
appreciates, yeah, passion.
Yeah,
So
100%.
that's something I kind of wish I had is a passion for something. Like so far, I'm like more here and there, like a squirrel. Like I'll lose like interest. Like I'm like, oh, that's
It's getting
cool.
cold outside. Let me get my nuts.
Yeah, it's funny that you said that because I know this is not supposed to be like an endorsement, but I have a shower product. It's called Ballsy, and with Ballsy comes something. It's more for body, but it's called Nut Rub.
And that's how we're gonna end the podcast.
But yeah. I switched things, but I wish I was as passionate as him and as you as for things I cared about. But we should.
What are you talking about?
I'll say I'm half.
You're passionate and care about certain things. You just might not have that financial investment into something like that. But you have that passion in things. 100%. You're passionate about Xbox.
I'm actually more passionate about PlayStation than Xbox. I just like to call them out.
Okay, let's blanket it. You're passionate about video games, right?
Yeah.
That's yeah. You're
But
definitely passionate about Destiny too.
this is true. I used to be really passionate about World of Warcraft, but I think you are right. It's the financial part that takes my passion away from it.
But that should never shake a passion. And there's passionate things that are priceless. And I don't mean that by like, I mean I think all passionate things are priceless. But what I mean by that is it doesn't really take a financial obligation. Like I think any artist, right, that just draws all day or paints all day,
Well, for me,
or a musician.
I think my appreciation comes from memories. Like, for example, Call of Duty. I've been a Call of Duty fan since Call of Duty 3 on the PS2 and all that stuff. But I stopped playing it because the memories I had are gone because the people I played with are gone. But also, they decided they didn't care about people like me. They wanted to just keep sucking money out of you. And I was like, yeah, I'm good. So
Makes sense.
I think my passion only goes as far as what they also give back, and if they don't give a lot back, then I'm moving on. World of Warcraft is a different story. I'm not saying World of Warcraft sucks to try. It's just they're a huge time investment, and if you want to stay invested to them, you can't invest anything else. Like no, it's true. Like people,
You're not wrong. I mean, you're not wrong.
and I'm not insulting anybody that stays dedicated to World of Warcraft because it's a great game, great series, great lore. There's a whole bunch of great things about it. It's just a very time-consuming commitment.
And this podcast proves it.
But unfortunately, we do have to wrap it up because I actually do have to pick somebody up really soon. But
All good.
I think we might have actually beat our longest episode by 2 minutes.
See, I wasn't even paying attention. Damn.
So far we're breaking
Honestly,
records.
compared to definitely last week, but even just like it did absolutely did not feel like we've been talking that long. I swear, it almost feels like maybe only hit 2 hours.
Yeah, but we also started much earlier than normal.
We did start much earlier than normal, which I was only happy because I was off today, but it was great too. Um, yeah, good talks. Got
But that was episode 11 of the Automatic Podcast. I still can't believe we did episode 11 on November 11th. That's pretty cool. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you stay tuned. Also, check out The Real
and
Shice.
listening.
Also, check out the real Shiesty because I'm gonna keep forcing him to stream. Hopefully, Sonic Frontiers. But we'll catch you guys in the next episode.
I will work on that. But everybody out there, stay safe and peace.
Peace.